यार एक सेकंड स्ट्रीम ना आपण चालू
तू जॉईन करून चेक केलं.
हां याच्यावर दाखव मला ते बघायचं ते कुठे आहे. एक मिनिट झाले स्टार्ट. लिंक आता कशी शेअर करणार आमच्याकडे. ओके ओके ठीक आहे ठीक आहे. हां हां बरोबर ओके करून घ्या. नाही केली त्याने ऑलरेडी आहे ना. झाले सगळं झालं ना. चालेल वगैरे काही नाही नाही ठीक आहे.
A very good morning to all respected dignitaries, Honorable Chairman.
मला वाटलं
A very good morning to all respected dignitaries, Honorable Chairman, Board of Studies, Computer Engineering, Dr. Nilesh Ukesar, all Board of Studies members, our esteemed resource persons of the day, Director Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur ma'am, our Principal Dr. Farooq Sayyed sir, Head of the Department Professor Bhagyashree Dhakulkar ma'am, and all dear participants. Myself Priyanka Valmare, Assistant Professor, Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science Engineering, Ajinkya Patil School of Engineering, Pune. Welcome you all on one-day faculty orientation program on computational intelligence, distributed computing and computer lab 3. Let us start the event by seeking blessings from Goddess of Wisdom, Ma Saraswati. I request all the dignitaries to come forward for lamp lighting ceremony.
ते यायला पाहिजे. याला आहे ना आता असं सरकून घे. इथे येऊ का. ओके ठीक घेते. याला इकडे सरकून घ्या. हां रित्रेस थोडं सांगितलं होतं ना.
या शुभवस्त्रं या वीणा वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना
असं दिसते सगळं.
या ब्रह्माच्युत शंकर प्रभृतिः.
Thank you all. Now I request Principal sir to address the gathering.
एकदा ऑडियन्स घ्यायचं म्हटलं. ऑडियन्स सरांचं यायला पाहिजे. इथे ठेवून
respected dignitaries, available online mode and offline mode. So our campus director Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur madam, Dr. Nilesh Ukesar, chairman of computer and department. Our today's resource persons available online for this faculty orientation program. All the participants available offline mode as well as online mode. Good morning, one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to be with you today for this faculty orientation program for 3 subjects of final year AIDS engineering. First subject is computational intelligence. Second is distributed computing and computer lab 3. So all these three subjects is going to deliver for this current final year student of AIDS engineering. So first of all, on behalf of our institute, ADYPSOE School of Engineering, I welcome all the dignitaries, those who are present online as well as present over here. So the basic objective or aim of this faculty orientation program to make aware all the faculties for final year AIDS engineering, those who are going to teach this subject for this current semester. So looking into industry demands and needs, AICT has decided to start this AIDS department in year 2021. Initially, many colleges are unaware about this course, but few colleges like us, we also identified the demand of this course, and we have started this course in year 2021 only. And first batch is going to pass out very soon after this semester. And I hope this first batch will definitely do wonders in the industry. So again, final year before starting this course, so every teacher should aware how to prepare the teaching plan, how to prepare, because this is first time is going to deliver students. The new syllabus is decided by our chairman and other senior faculties. So this faculty orientation program, definitely all these teachers will gain sufficient idea how to prepare and how to deliver this subject to students. So first again, I would like to thank our bureau chairman Dr. Nilesh sir for giving us opportunity to host this event in our campus in hybrid mode. So I wish all the best to all the participants as well as our organizing committee to make this event successful. With this welcome speech, I conclude my speech and I wish all the best for all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Director Ma'am to address the gathering.
Thank you. Good morning to one and all present here, especially dignitaries in the offline mode, online mode, and our principal, Dr. ADYPSOE sir. I first of all would like to thank Dr. Nilesh sir who gave us this opportunity, and thank the organizing committee led by Professor Bhavya who is the enthusiastic professor in our institute who always takes such initiatives. Today's faculty orientation program is going to be an eye-opener for some of the faculties, because we all know that artificial intelligence as a field itself is one of the most dynamic and ever-changing fields. Not just that it is new, but it is ever-changing, because we all know that it is one of that branches of engineering where you are trying to implicate or express human behavior through machinery. And I think that one of the most complicated branches of engineering will be artificial intelligence and data science. We all know that data is a new all. And artificial intelligence and data science usually mesmerized by doing lots of things which we never had thought of. We are also working in some real-time applications, and I think this faculty orientation program is equipped our faculty team bridge the gap what is available as a syllabus and what we should be teaching, because recently when we were having a discussion we were talking about how we can make our entire teaching learning practice more practical, more result oriented, more in the sense of students not memorizing the theoretical practices but how they can use it in real practice. I thank all the resource persons who have agreed to share their knowledge today, especially Dr. Diwali, Dr. Rajiv Banjari, Dr. Devyani, Professor Kohli, Professor Kubri, Professor Shirsagar, Professor Shubhangi, Dr. Manjusha, and the vote of thanks will be given by enthusiastic professor. I request all the faculty to attend this program and learn. I am going to take a quiz tomorrow after this entire session is being done, to be prepared for that, especially faculty of Adipolu Advanced School of Engineering. With this, I declare that our session for today is open, and I welcome one and all present here for this wonderful faculty of engineering. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your kind words. I request Honorable Chairman Dr. Nilesh sir to address the gathering. I think sir is not available, so let me take an opportunity to introduce our today's keynote speaker, Dr. Deepali Islamkar ma'am. She has completed her PhD in Computer Science Engineering from SRTM Nanded. She is a post member of Computer Engineering. She has a rich experience of total 20 years, both from teaching as well as industry. She has published 9 international Scopus Index journal papers and 3 conference papers. She has 3 patents in her name and 2 books published in reputed publication. Thank you, ma'am, for honoring us with your presence. Over to you, ma'am.
That was there earlier in the computer department in the final year. So after going through all these syllabus, we understood distributed computing are there. That means RMI, RPC, different load balancing algorithms, everything is there. But as the professor under the guidance of Professor they suggest to add the flavor of artificial intelligence and data science. Because nowadays machine algorithms like machine learning, deep learning, then NLP, natural language processing, all these algorithms are available in the market, and the big social media platforms like Facebook, Zoom, then almost all the platforms are using artificial intelligence and data science in distributed computing and giving services to their multiple clients. So with this aim, we have designed this syllabus. We have a team of 8 people, and by considering the input from all 8 people, 6 are from academics and rest 2 are from the industry. Those industry people are also having experience more than 15 years. So as far as the guidelines given by the viewers, this subject is having the credit of 3 and 3 hours of teaching load is there per week. So as far as our pattern is concerned, is of 30 marks and exam is of 70 marks. The prerequisite for this course is computer network and data science. This subject is already learned by the student in the 3rd year of computer science because computer network, without computer network, students are unable to understand the distributed computing. Because computer network is just computer network is there to exchange the information from one system to another system. But whatever processes are going on the back end, whatever loads are managed on the back end, that care will be taken by the distributed computer. And the companion course for this particular laboratory is the Computer 3 lab, which is the combination of CL which is the combination of distributed computing and computational intelligence. As far as the objectives are concerned, the first unit is mainly based on the features and characteristics of distributed computing, along with the integration of IR. Just the flavor of artificial intelligence is covered in the first unit, along with all the features, the different aspects like fault tolerance, load balancing, and everything is covered there. Then the second course outcome is to analyze the concept of data management and storage in distributed computing. And Dr. Devani Bhamre madam is going to focus more on that. Then the third objective is there on understanding the algorithms in the distributed computing by applying the artificial intelligence. So whatever artificial intelligence nowadays are used in the distributed computing, that we are trying to cover under this particular course outcome. The course outcome 3 is mapped with the unit third, and unit third is going, that means that part is going to cover from my side. The CO4 is nothing but the understanding the integration of machine learning algorithm and advanced tool. So from fourth, fifth, sixth unit, we are trying to focus more on advancement, how the machine learning algorithms and advanced tools are helpful in distributed computing. That is covered under the fourth unit, that is covered by the Professor Koi sir. Then CO5, that means CO5 is mapped with the unit 5, and under that we are planning to give more insights about the big data, then how the different tools like Tableau and all are helpful. Under that, that is covered by the Professor Survi madam. And then security is one of the biggest concern nowadays, and again that concern is there in distributed computing, and that part is going to cover again by the Professor Survi ma'am. So if we identify the job opportunities, why to learn this particular subject? What is the market values in the what is the market value for this subject? So as I have gone through multiple websites, just like Naukri.com, then LinkedIn. So I have identified more than 18,000 opportunities are available for the distributed computing software engineer in various profiles. So if you are having a very good knowledge, or if our students are having the very good knowledge with that, then these 19,000 opportunities will be there for our students, those who will pass out in the upcoming July. So this is really the good sign that we can say to our students why to learn this subject, because job opportunities are available in the market. Then what skill sets we required while learning the distributed system? So again, programming language is there. Then we need to understand the MapReduce. Then Hadoop is there. That Hadoop platform is there. With the help of that, we can create different. That means multiple node configuration. Then data structure algorithm we already studied. Networking is there. Parallel and distributed computing is there. Machine learning, deep learning knowledge is there. Machine learning student has already learned in the first semester, and deep learning is the subject which is there now as an elective in the current semester. Then soft skill is again the requirement, that is the obvious requirement. So these many skills, if our students are having to grab the opportunity in distributed system, then definitely our students are getting placed. Then what are the roles of artificial intelligence in distributed system? So nowadays we have learned in the earlier syllabus or in the traditional syllabus also, or in the traditional distributed computing, the load balancing is there. But by using some algorithms which are there in artificial intelligence, we can balance the load very effectively without many more human intervention. So this is what the opportunity is there under the load balancing for the artificial intelligence. Then again, AI is there for the fault detection and recovery. As I already told you, security is the concern. If we integrate the AI APIs or libraries with the existing distributed system, then definitely the security will be extended or added with the more and more features. Then again, optimization and coordination, this is very important, because when your data is distributed on the multiple nodes, then at that time we need to coordinate and we need to optimize the things also. So this is also very important. Then AI for innovation and adaptation. Then how to prepare for AI related distributed education. So these many roles are very important as far as the distributed system subject is concerned. So directly moving towards to the first unit, because we are having a very less time with us. So this particular unit is having the that means you can taught this particular unit. You can teach this particular unit within the 6 hours of span. And under that, we have covered the 3 major concepts. That is the fundamental of distributed computing. The second one is the introduction of artificial intelligence and data science in distributed computing, and third one are the different use cases and the application where the AI and data science is already integrated in the distributed system. So after that means when we are teaching this particular unit to the student, at least student came to know how particular what are the features of distributed system, how distributed system is different than computer network, then what are the issues are there while configuring the distributed system, how many different hardware configurations we are needing, that also understood to the student very well. Then we need to understand what are the different types of distributed systems are there, what models are there, that also we need to understand. So when we move to the next part, that is the second important key concept, that is the introduction of AI and DS in distributed. So we need to understand how the computational tasks are distributed with the help of AI, how large volume of data is handled, how the parallel processing is leveraged with the different capabilities, what issues are there while storing the data and retrieving of data, what data consistency challenges are there, what communication overheads are there, because while communicating many more overheads like errors, noise, delay, jitter, all these features, that means quality of service also we need to understand, synchronization and fault tolerance, because nowadays most of the systems are self-healing. So whatever fault tolerance is there in the earlier system, that we need to troubleshoot, and that consumes a lot of time. But with the help of AI and with the help of artificial intelligence, whatever fault tolerance is there, that is automatically took place, and in the small period of time, that particular problem is getting resolved. So, and after that, in the third topic, we need to understand what predictive maintenance is there. And for predictive maintenance, again, different AI algorithms are there. Predictive, reactive, predicate. That means preactive, passive, active. So all sort of algorithms are there that supported the predictive maintenance, fraud detection. Then intelligent transport system, nowadays transportation system in India is doing a lot of advancement. As we already know, the Ministry of Road and Transport is already announcing many more things nowadays. So how intelligent transportation system will work, that also, and what is the role of distributed system in that also we need to teach to the student. Then supply chain optimization, as we already know nowadays, because of online businesses, supply chain is the need of the market, and if we are providing the better solution to all supply chain vendors, then definitely their inventory and their transportation, everything is getting managed very well. Then energy management, healthcare, customer behavior analysis, natural language processing, everything we need to understand in the use cases. So this is what, while delivering this particular unit, we need to give the knowledge about all these things to the student, the basic knowledge. Don't go into the detail into the first unit, because the algorithm related to this is already covered in the further units. So this is all about the first unit, and under that give assignment to the student to create the use case or case study for the e-commerce, uh, for the distributed computing in the e-commerce, because we already know most of the businesses are doing e-commerce, that even small scale startups are also using e-commerce nowadays. But how exactly, what happened at backend, how that particular transactions will take place, how the transaction is distributed using the blockchain, so everything is student can understood with the help of this case study. So instead of explaining this particular case study by all faculties, it's a request to all the participants to give this particular case study to your students, so that they can prepare by their own in the form of chart, or in the form of presentation, PPT presentation, and they can present in front of all students, so that they understood what challenges are there while setting up the e-commerce platform, what algorithms are playing a great role while setting the e-commerce platform. So all these things are covered, that I will explain at the end of this particular slide. So I will not go into the detail of each and every part, because this is just the orientation program. Whatever contents we have designed, our team has designed, that will be published soon by one of the publisher. Though contents, chapter wise data, everything is ready, that we will share with you later on, or with the Bhageshri madam and the team, and then definitely this will be helpful for you while delivering this particular subject into the classroom. So distributed computing, as I already told, computer network is just for sharing the information, but the main processing part or computational part, which is taken care by the distributed computing. So this is what the simple definition. So in that, multiple computers are interconnected. We can say multiple nodes are getting connected with each other that are work together, process the data to solve the complex problem. So distributed computing is for what? Solving the complex problem, and computer network is there for handling the day-to-day activity like basic and simpler problems. So this is what the basic definition of distributed computing. So multiple characteristics are there while studying the distributed computing. That is the that is the concurrency. So in concurrency, the multiple nodes are working concurrently. The task is divided among the different nodes, and the task is executing their task independently, and at the end, the whole result is getting calculated. Then fault tolerance is there. As I already told you, the distributed system need to be resilient to the failure. If one of the node is getting failed, the system should be able to continue functioning without a complete breakdown. So this is what the beauty of fault tolerance and distributed computing. The whole system is not getting shut down in the fault tolerance. Scalability, as I already told, for handling the complex problem, we need many more resources. Dynamically, the resources are getting added. So scalability is also there. Inter-process communication, that is very important because all nodes are having their own features. All nodes are executing their processes on their own systems. And at the end, by using the RMI, RPC calls, we need to communicate the things with, we need to combine all the results, and this is achievable with the help of interprocess communication. Transparency is very important. User is not aware what underlying distribution of resources is there. That means how the task is getting divided at backend, that is not known to the user, but the developer can understand how the task is getting divided. So this is what the transparency. Heterogeneity, as I already told you, multiple systems are having different software, different hardware. Then also cross platforms are going to interact with each other. Then load balancing, security, all these features are there. So while delivering this particular, while discussing the characteristics, all of you are requested to give the real-time examples that is related to with our day-to-day life, so that student can understand the features and characteristics of distributed computing very well. Then while designing the distributed system, multiple issues are also occurred because it's not that much easy to handle the heterogeneity, because all systems are having different hardware. Just some of the systems are having Macintosh, some of the systems are working on iOS, some of the systems are working on Windows. So it's difficult to handle the heterogeneity. That means that is one of the biggest issue, because coordination is ultimate aim of this particular distributed computing. So while designing the distributed computing system, the first issue is the heterogeneity. Then scalability. Again, scalability is one of the important issue while discussing. That means while implementing this particular distributed system. Then openness, transparency. Then we can say the security, concurrency, failure handling. Whatever characteristics we have studied, while implementing those characteristics or while handling with these characteristics, the multiple issues are occurred, and that also we need to discuss with the student. So what are the different types? So 4 different types of distributed systems are there. The first one is the client server architecture. Most of you are already aware about this. In client server architecture, the server is there, multiple clients are there. But the drawbacks with this system is if the one of the system, that means if server is getting down, if server is getting failed, then the whole system is getting stuck down. So this is what the drawback of client server architecture. In peer-to-peer network, as we already know, each and every node is going to communicate with each other. This will additionally increase the overburden on all the nodes, because all nodes should be there in the picture. That means in peer-to-peer architecture, the drawback of client-server architecture is getting reduced. But when we are going for the large extent distributed system or scalable distributed system, at that time peer-to-peer architecture will not work in detail. So we need to give the exposure like advantages, disadvantages, and so that student can understand very well. Middleware, that is already known to all the faculties and all. So here in middleware, one of the layer is sitting between the client and server, so it will reduce the burden of server and client, and that middleware will take care that act as a intermediate between the client and server. And then third one is the 3-tier architecture. As we already know, most of the architecture on the web, most of the web applications like Facebook, then we can say Instagram, are working this 3-tier architecture. and most of the web applications are designed with the help of 3-tier architecture. So these are the different types of distributed systems. All these different types of types of architectures are used nowadays in distributed systems, but most famous nowadays we can say is 3-tier architecture. Then again, distributed system models are divided into multiple categories. Again, 3 categories are there. The first category under that is the distributed computing system. Under distributed computing system, the two different types of models are there. So one is the cluster computing and another one is the grid computing. So cluster computing is already known to everyone. One cluster is created when a leader is there and that leader is connected with the multiple nodes, and all nodes are going to communicate with that cluster leader, and multiple clusters are created, and clustering algorithms in machine learning are used in this particular part, like k-means algorithm, or we can say k nearest neighbor algorithm. So these algorithms are useful in case of cluster computing. Grid computing is again very important nowadays. Grid computing, in grid computing, that means if we observe the first diagram in cluster computing, the master, that means master and multiple nodes are there. But in case of grid computing, the second diagram, in that we can say the multiple hospitals are mentioned here, and in multiple hospitals, the hospital 1 is having the one grid, hospital 2 is having the another grid, hospital 3 is having the another grid. They are having their own servers, they are having their own nodes, and all are connected with each other using the Amazon Web Services and all. So this is what again the beauty of grid computing, and these two cluster computing and grid computing model comes under the distributed computing system. Then the second type of system model is distributed information system. Under that, we already know nowadays multiple transactions are already taken place, and those transactions are individually handled very well. Okay, the millions of transactions are going on every day, and those transactions are handled very smoothly without any misleads. Hardly 1 or 2% of spams or some we can say cyber security attacks are there on the transaction, but most of the transactions are going very smoothly. And again, the distributed transaction processing plays a very great role there. The different characteristics are there for the transaction, that is automatic, consistent, isolated, and durable. So all these things we need to explain to our students very well. One of the example or diagram is mentioned at the bottom. So Amazon, Zoho, okay, which is connected with the mobile, which is connected with the home network. So this is what one of the example of distributed transaction processing. So first is computing system, distributed computing system. Second one is the distributed information system under distributed system model, and third one is the distributed pervasive system. This is also nowadays is called as ubiquitous computing. So under ubiquitous computing, multiple devices are connected at any time, and multiple devices can take a leave at any at all or at any time in the system 24/7. That's why this type of systems are called as distributed pervasive system. So we need to focus more on each and every aspect of this, like telemetry, edge connection, then different devices, then car, then CCTV camera footages and everything. So this we can connect anytime, and this we can leave the system anytime. So this we need to explain in detail with the student. That is what distributed pervasive system. So this is all about distributed system model. So the first half of the particular unit is I think clear to everyone. Then we will proceed with the second part, that is introduction of artificial intelligence and data science in the distributed system. So while creating the distributed system, at that time, how artificial intelligence and data science give more advancement, or can easily solve the different problems that we need to understand in the second half. Following are the some essential methods and ideas while performing the computational task, that is the workload division. We can say workload division is done with the help of what? Load balancing. If multiple nodes are there, and if one of the load is getting heavily loaded, then we need to balance the load, and here the AI algorithm plays a great role. Then communication and synchronization, two types of communications are there, synchronous and asynchronous. So as we already know, synchronous is in synchronous communication, acknowledgement is there, the communication is very secure. But in asynchronous communication, acknowledgement is not there. Any node can wake up at any time, and they can generate the result, and then those nodes can go to the sleep mode again. So two types of synchronization algorithms are there: synchronous communication, and second one is the asynchronous communication. Synchronous are having their own advantages and limitations, and asynchronous are having their own advantages and limitations. So in asynchronous communication, the acknowledgement will not be there. Then scheduling and load balancing, multiple scheduling algorithms are there: LIFO, FIFO, weighted round robin, multiple algorithms are there. And this weighted round robin is newly introduced, and many PhD scholars are also using this weighted round robin algorithm or weighted fair queuing algorithm in their research nowadays. So that also we need to talk to the student, that is there in the third unit. Then orchestrion and fault tolerance. As we already know, fault tolerance is again very important. So fault tolerance and orchestrion can be done with the help of what? Multiple artificial intelligence and data science algorithms. So that we need to teach to the student how exactly the role of artificial intelligence and data science will come into the picture. So we need to focus in detail while explaining the workload division. We need to focus in detail while explaining all these particular concepts. Then data storage and access, as I already told you, because nowadays complex systems are generating huge data. Huge data we need to handle. Data may be structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. So nowadays multiple NoSQL is one of the database which is very useful to handle the unstructured and semi-structured databases. SQL is already known to the student in database in DBMS and data science. Then how exactly the storage of data is there in the Amazon Web Services and the Google Cloud, that also we need to talk to the student, because Amazon and Google Cloud storage are working very well by using the algorithms of artificial intelligence and data science. So while processing the data and doing the analysis, multiple frameworks are available nowadays in the market. We need to taught this particular framework to the student. Hadoop, MapReduce, Spark, these platforms are already there in our practical lab also. So while delivering the practicals, or while teaching the practicals to the student, we need to focus more on Hadoop and MapReduce, then analyzing big data set. So whenever data set you are having offline from the Kaggle, or from if you are having your own manual data set entries in the Excel, then those databases you can assign to the Hadoop or Apache Spark, and by dividing that particular task with the mapper reducer algorithm, we can achieve the better result. So that is called as batch processing. Then stream processing is there. For the stream processing, multiple again algorithms are there. This is for real-time data processing. Nowadays multiple platforms are there, like Netflix, Amazon. Okay, so for real-time data streaming, these particular platforms really play a great role. So those who are doing the project on real-time streaming, so all faculties are requested to suggest them the Apache Kafka and Apache Flink. So these are really the good frameworks that will use for processing the data in real-time environment. Then in-memory computing is there. For that, we need to understand how the data science and artificial algorithms plays a great role, and by utilizing the RAM, or by increasing the size of RAM, these things are achievable. Then distributed analytics systems are there that will give us the effective platforms for analyzing the big data set like Spark and Google BigQuery. So with the help of that, we can say multiple things are getting achieved. So this is all about data storage and retrieval, and what sort of platforms are useful there. So we need to give this knowledge to our students. Then data management and quality is again one of the feature. Just a minute. Yeah. So data management and quality, as I already told you, managing the data is really a big task that we need to, and the student have already learned data cleaning, pre-processing. So same thing will be applicable. Student have already learned these things in data modeling and visualization subject. That is the compulsory subject in the first semester of AIDS in final year, right? So data integration, then data cleaning, data governance, and data compression. So everything we need to inform, or everything we need to talk to our student, how the data is getting managed, how the redundant data is getting cleaned, how the duplicate entries are getting avoided, how the privacy and securities are maintained, and which type of algorithms are used in that case. That also we need to talk to the student. Then tools and technologies. So what tools and technologies are available nowadays for handling the data and retrieving of data? So as I already told, Apache Hadoop, Apache Spark, Apache Kafka, Google BigQuery, Amazon Redshift. So all these tools and technologies which are available nowadays that will help in AI and data science in the distributed computing. So it is mandatory for every teacher to teach these particular tools very well, to give the that means step by step installation procedures to your student, how to install the Hadoop, how to install the Spark, Kafka, how Google BigQuery is used. Everything we need to taught to our students. Some free versions, 15 days versions are available, are also available. We have already tried that. So every faculty, please go into the detail of this tool and give the more and more insights to the student, so student can understand how distributed system will work. Then understanding parallel processing, this is very important because we already know CUDA is there, and under GPUs are there, multiple millions of processors are there, because nowadays we are working in octa-core, hexacore, deca-core. That is good up to the computer network. Okay, because only data they need to transfer. But whenever we switch to the distributed computing, at that time we need to understand how exactly the parallel processing is done with the help of numerous processors, because under this distributed computing, the thousands of processors are running parallelly and they are handling the multiple tasks at once. So multiple benefits are also there for the parallel processing: scalability, real-time capabilities, resource optimization. Only headings I have mentioned here. The details are there in the contents that we will share with everyone. Then leveraging, that means how different strategies are there for leveraging the parallel processing. Those are also there. As I already told you, the CUDA is there, MPI, OpenMP platforms are there. So by tuning this particular platform, by using these particular platforms, we can get the maximum performance and optimize the things. Then predictive maintenance, as I already told you, predictive maintenance nowadays, this is all about the third part of our first unit. Under predictive maintenance, the multiple process plants like Bosch and all manufacturing plants are using this particular predictive maintenance techniques. Under that, reactive maintenance, preventive maintenance, prescriptive maintenance, predictive maintenance, or conditional monitoring, that is also called as condition monitoring. So all these things are done with the help of what? AI algorithms. So that also we need to taught to the students. So this is one of the use case where the predictive maintenance is used, that we can teach to the student. The next one, again, these are the features which are there, and one of the best tool is available in the market. So all faculties are requested to go with this tool, that is SAMGUARD tool. So this SAMGUARD tool will be helpful in predictive maintenance. Then fraud detection, as I already told you, multiple fraud detection algorithms are there. By integrating this AI algorithms with the fraud detection, the things are getting easier and easier. And all these topics are having the detailed description. Everyone is requested to please read this particular in detail, and you need to taught this particular 5 fault detection technique to the students. Then different fault detection techniques are already discussed. Then fault intelligent transportation system, as I already told you, we are moving towards smart transportation. So real time traffic management, vehicle connections, public transportation, predictive maintenance for transportation, multi-modal transportation. Multi-modal means multiple vehicles we can treat as a multi-node, and then how the things will get executed, that integration is also plays a great role. So all these five points we need to teach to the student in detail. Then supply chain management, again, demand forecasting, logistic and transportation optimization, risk management, smart contracts, predictive maintenance for machinery and asset, everything comes under supply chain management. That also we need to talk to the student. Then under energy management, these things are there: grid optimization, because on grid and off grid, these two techniques are used nowadays in energy management. So that we need to talk to the student. Then smart grids are there, energy efficiency and smart building control. So everywhere a huge data is generated, huge energy parameters are generated, that we can handle with the help of what? Artificial intelligence algorithm. So you just need to introduce how AI and DS plays a great role in energy management using the distributed computing. Then next one is the healthcare and medical diagnostic. All these subtopics are there that we need to talk to the student. Then here, by using the natural language processing, this is one of the elective in third year. Then we can analyze the sentiments and behavior of the clients on the social media. Customer feedback is also done with the help of natural language processing. Chatbot nowadays, self-answer chatbots nowadays are prepared. Then predictive analysis, again that we have already seen in the previous part. Then voice over the customer, voice over VOC analysis is also there. All these things are done with the help of what? AI and DS in the distributed computing. So these are this is all about what the first three part that I already told you. So while giving the use case study, while giving the use case or case study to the student, so give the topic like this, enhancing the scalability and performance in e-commerce through distributed system. So when we are giving the definition like this to the student, then the student should prepare their own case study with these subpoints like abstract, then introduction, what problem statement is there. Problem statement student is able to define, that means under e-commerce platform, what scalability feature is there and how the performance of transaction is getting improved. That also mentioned under the problem statement. Solution, for identifying the solution for e-commerce, then what type of algorithms are nowadays used for the e-commerce platform. So students should come with the different solutions under this case study. Implementation part is there, results are there. Then one of the case study result you can compare with the another case study result, because different students are creating, or you can make the group of 10 students and give this case study to them. They will come with the different ideas. So in that way we can teach this first unit to our students. Hope the first unit orientation is clear to everyone. Am I audible? Any query in that, so that we can proceed with the next? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, shall I proceed with the next one?
Yes, sir.
Then we will go for the third unit. Second unit will be taken care by Dr. Divani Bhamre madam. So again, this is very important unit, because almost all algorithms related to AI and DS that will help in distributed computing is covered in this particular unit. And the name of this particular unit is distributed computing algorithm. So this is what the syllabus which is frame which is there for the third unit, and under that again three different sub parts are there. The first one is distributed computing algorithm, the second one is the load balancing and resource allocation algorithm, and third one is applying the AI technique to optimize type of faults will be there: transient fault, intermittent fault, and a permanent fault. So these three different types of faults are there. We need to explain this particular definition to the student while delivering this particular fault or while discussing this fault with the student. So what is transient fault? So transient fault are the kinds of defect that only manifest for the single instant before going away. Okay, so these kind of errors are exceedingly hard to identify. This is very difficult to identify these kind of transient. That means the error which are difficult to identify are simply called as transient faults. Then second one is the intermittent fault. What is intermittent fault? These are the kind of faults that occur repeatedly. Okay, in the system that is repeatedly occurred. Okay, and after that it will that means automatically slowly that fault is getting disappear. Okay, so automatic recovery is also there in intermittent fault. And the third one is the permanent fault. Permanent fault is the fault where the system is not going to recover from any of the situation, like forcefully shutdown is there. So these kind of three different faults we need to taught to the student. What are the different phases are there in the fault tolerance? So we need to taught this fault detection, fault diagnosis, evidence generation, then assessment and recovery. These phases also we need to taught to the student. So types we need to taught teach to the student, as well as the what different phases are there, that also we need to focus. Then what are the different type of, these are the fault types. Then we need to focus on the fault tolerance system. So first one is the hardware fault tolerance, software fault tolerance, and then third one is the system fault tolerance. Okay, so these also we need to explain in detail with the student. Then recovery. So what recovery systems or what recovery algorithms, if we are considering the AI and data science algorithms are there, so that also we need to talk to the student. The replication and redundancy. Okay, so replication and redundancy we need to talk. If we are replicating the things, then if one of the system is getting failed, the replicated node will give immediate response to that. So can I say recovery is done very easily? Redundancy, making the similar copies of same data, that is done with the help of redundancy. Checkpointing mechanism, as we are already doing the debugging, and under debugging we already know some checkpoints we are defining. Let's say we are having the 1,000 line of code and we are giving the checkpoints at 250 lines. So those 4 checkpoints, if we are maintaining very well with the audit and logs, then with the help of that we can directly have the data of 250 portion of checkpoint, then next 250 portion of checkpoint. Similarly, 4 checkpoints will help in recovering the system very fastly. Then rollback recovery is there, auditing and logging is also there. That we need to talk to the student. Load balancing approach, this is very important. Load balancing, okay, how the load balancing approaches are there in the market. Round robin is there, list connection is there, list time is there, hash and IP hash. So these load balancing approaches we need to talk to the student. And when I had a discussion with one of the industry person, so they said ki this load balancing again very important. When student practically work on this particular algorithm, then definitely this will be the value addition in their knowledge, and they can easily understand and easily getting cope up, or they are going to cope up with the system very well if they are knowing this load balancing approaches very well. Then multiple load balancing algorithms are there. 2 categories are there. One is the static category and another one is the dynamic. Under static category, deterministic and probabilistic. So these type of algorithms are there for balancing the load. And under dynamic category, centralized and distributed is there. And again, distributed is divided into 2 parts, cooperative and non-cooperative. So these algorithms we need to explain to the students in details. Then what load balancing algorithms and relocation algorithms are there? The first one is the weighted round robin. I think so round robin is already known to everyone. So weighted is the extension of that. And this particular algorithm I also used while during my PhD work. So weighted round robin give priorities to each and every node. Those who are having the higher priority or those who are having the lower. So those all nodes will get the equal opportunity to share their values. Let's say some of the nodes are having the highest values and they are very important, and some of the nodes are having very least value, and they are so fair chance is given to all the nodes, the higher value nodes also as well as lower value nodes also. So weighted round robin. One fantastic video is available with me, that is delivered by one of the professor from the well-known foreign university. That also I will share with everyone, so that the concept will be very clear to everyone. Then list connections are there. In that we need to identify which server connections are least used. So in that case, we can assign the overloaded connection system with the least connection. Then randomized load balancing algorithm, dynamic load balancing algorithm, centralized load balancing, distributed load balancing, and predicated load balancing. So all these load balancing algorithms we need to talk to our students very well, so that they can understand how the load balancing is done in our distributed system. And some of the practicals are also there. One of the load balancing algorithm practical is there in our CL3 lab, that one of the resource person is going to focus. Then applying different techniques to optimize the distributed algorithm we have already studied, but what different AI techniques we can apply to the distributed algorithm to optimize the thing. The first one is the genetic algorithm, as we already know, by identifying the behavior of chromosomes, by identifying the behavior of our live organisms. These algorithms are designed. So genetic algorithm plays a great role for optimizing the distributed computing algorithm. Reinforcement algorithm is already known to everyone. It is working on the penalty as well as on the rewards. If positive step is taken, then rewards are assigned. If negative step is taken by any of the nodes, then penalty is there for that. And for that, Q learning algorithms are nowadays are used under the reinforcement learning category, like supervised, unsupervised, and the reinforcement. All these three categories are playing a great role to optimize the distributed computing algorithm. Then machine learning algorithms are there for predicative analysis. As I already told you, predictions are very important. So ensemble learning, bagging boosting algorithms are there. Then YOLO algorithms are there for object detection. Then CLN, then convolution neural network algorithms are there. All these algorithms are really plays a great role to optimize the distributed computing algorithm. Then load balancing, as I already told you, but dynamically how it will optimize the resource utilization, that also we need to understand. Anomaly detection. If any if any mishappening, or if any misbehavior is unusual behavior is occurred, then this anomaly detection algorithm plays a great role. So that we need to talk to the student. The deep learning concept, energy efficiency concept, these also we need to talk to our students. Then machine learning for resource allocation. See, demand prediction, classification model, anomaly detection. So these things are used while assigning the resources in the distributed computing. So machine learning plays a great role, because ultimately multiple resources are available in the distributed system to the large extent. If we are using this algorithm for assigning those resources, then definitely our quality, our productivity, then delay time, then latency period, then performance, throughput, everything is getting improved if we are applying the machine learning algorithm for assigning the resources. So this is again one of the important parts. So in that we need to taught the different techniques to the student. What is demand prediction, classification model, and anomaly detection. Again, multiple quality of QoS. QoS stands for quality of service. Under that, reinforcement learning is there. Workload placement, clustering algorithms are there. Cost prediction model. In that, we can use different algorithm model for predicting the cost of that particular system or resource utilization. Then dynamic priority scheduling. As I already told you, priority is very important. The task which is having highest priority, that should be served first. The task which is having lowest priority, that should be served last. And the task which is having the equal priority, that also dynamic fair queuing algorithms are there. That also we need to talk to the student. Multi-objective, multi-node communication is also done. Then adaptive configuration. So deep learning is there for the adaptive configuration. Everything we need to talk to our students. Then what are the examples of machine learning for resource allocation? So see here, Google Cloud Platform uses ML, machine learning, to automatically allocate the resources to virtual machine. So Google is already using machine learning algorithm for for allocating the resources. So if the case study of this Google Cloud Platform is available with you, then show it to the students. Then Amazon Web Services are there to optimize the resource allocation in their data center, because Amazon are having the huge 20-story buildings of data centers at their at different location all over the world. They are also using the ML
Then Netflix is there to allocate the bandwidth to the different users. Then Uber is also using to allocate the driver to the passenger. So these real-time examples really that means create a different impact while teaching this particular subject to the student. So give these kind of use cases or examples to the student while teaching the role of machine learning and resource allocation. Then this is the reinforcement learning step. Then in that action are there, environment is there, then periodic retraining is there. So these multiple fields or multiple technical terms are there that we have already mentioned in the detailed documentation. So this we need to taught to the students. Then genetic algorithm, as I already told you, based on the human behavior and techniques, these things are there. Chromosome representation, initial population, fitness function, selection, crossover, mutation, replacement, everything we need to taught to the student for task scheduling in the distributed computing using genetic algorithm. Next one is the swarm intelligence. I think so many of the faculties have already used this particular algorithm while during their ME and PhD research, that is swarm particle optimization, those algorithms. So again, on the human behavior, like on the social organism behavior, like ant, bird flock, bees, based on that multiple algorithms are designed. So we can use this ACO, PSO, B algorithm, Firefly algorithm, ABC algorithm, artificial Bleakorny, then Groupie, Wolf optimizer, BAT algorithm, while assigning for distributed optimization, we can use all these techniques. So this is all about the third unit. Again, one case study is there. That case study we can discuss again in that fashion that I already taught you in the first unit. Again, give the different case study to the student, and the student will definitely create here the case study which is there, the distributed computing algorithm for the weather prediction. So this algorithm is already added in the CL3 lab, and CL3 lab, this algorithm I'm going to taught you in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So this is all about the orientation of unit 1 and unit 3. Now we will move towards the practical part of the CL3, the distributed computing lab part. So here I am going to cover the two different definitions. The one is the hotel booking, uh, hotel booking assignment. And that assignment I will elaborate here. And the second one is the weather coding. That is already the case study which is given in the unit 3. So these two assignment I am going to cover. So the first assignment that we will see under the CL3 lab is design and develop the distributed hotel booking application using Java RMI. Okay, as I already told you, RMI is there in your syllabus for remote monitoring and remote procedure invocation. Under that, we need to create the server and client. Okay, you can create a single server and single client, and you can create a single server with multiple client. Means single node is also there and multiple client. So what you can do in this assignment, create a system from your side while teaching this particular experiment to the student. You just show with the single server and single client and give the task of creating multiple nodes, multiple clients, and how multiple clients are getting connected with the single server. That also you can assign the advanced part to your student. And then what we need to do here, a hotel booking we need to perform with hotel server and client machine. Client may be at any remote location. Through RMI connectivity, client can get, is going to connect. The server manages the hotel room booking information. Customer can invoke the following operation at his machine. First operation is booking the specific room. Second is the cancellation of the cancel the booking of the guest. So these two operations we need to carry out. And if your students are is able to perform another multiple operations with this, that is also welcome, and additional mark you can give to your student. Not only these two operations, but you can assign 3-4 operations to the students: refunding of money, or login logout, check-in check-out times of hotel room. So this kind of small operations you can give it to the student. So for that, how to execute this? Okay, so for that there is no need to create the multi-node architecture, right? On a single system, you can execute this particular assignment. A stepwise procedure I have written here. The software that means I have tried this assignment on the BlueJ IDE. BlueJ IDE is available over the internet. You can easily download this. Otherwise, you can do this assignment with the Eclipse also. But BlueJ IDE is really the fantastic one that I have observed, because components are readily drag and drop. Only on that components we need to do the coding, right? So BlueJ IDE you can use. The coding part we need to do in Java. Okay, so the student should have the basic knowledge of Java so that they can perform this particular assignment. So what is the first step? So when you are opening the BlueJ IDE, at that time it will look like this. Okay, so if you observe, this is the BlueJ IDE screen. So under that BlueJ IDE screen, you need to click on the project, then click on the new project. After clicking on the new project, the second window will appear, right? So you need to give the name to the particular project. Okay, so I have given the name hotel RMI underscore demo. Okay, so whatever name is given, then click on the OK. So your project is created. Okay, step by step I have given everything, as well as whatever steps I have done and whatever running steps I have recorded the video also. That video also I will share with the organizer host team. Then that team will share all the details with you. Then your project is created. After the project is created, we need to create the interface. Okay, only client and server is not going to interact directly with each other. So interface is very important. So we can say interface is the middleware between client and server. Okay, so under that you need to create the interface. So again, you need to click on the new class. Under new class, okay, this window will appear. Here you need to click on interface. Okay, so when you are clicking on the interface and give the name of that interface, whatever name you are assigning here, you just remember this name, because we need to code, we need to use this particular same name while doing the coding of this assignment, right? So under this, whatever name you are assigning here, that name, that interface name, you should remember very well. Give this particular that means give this reminder to your students also. Whatever names you are giving, you need to use the same name, otherwise error will occur. Click on OK. Interface is created. See how interface is looking. So once the interface has been created, it will look like this. You just need to double click on this. आपको इसके ऊपर से double click करना है. So when you going to double click on this, okay, one editor is getting open. Okay, the things it will open like this. Dikshendra sir, can you please mute yourself, because keyboard typing noise is there. Yeah, Dikshendra sir is there. Or admin, I am requesting you to please mute.
Yes, sir, yes.
Yeah, so under that interface, see the window will appear like this. Okay, just like your Java code. Then whatever code you have to write here, okay, that is nothing but what two things you need: the person name and room booking name. So these two key parameters you need to pass here. These two data structure you need to pass here. Then the next one, you need to create the server, hotel server and hotel client. In the similar way, again go to new class, create the hotel server. Again go to new class, create the hotel client. Double click on the server, start typing the code for the server. Double click on the client, start typing the code for the client. In that way, the codes are getting created, and this code I will share with everyone, don't worry. So this is what RMI hotel code that is available with me. So under that, see, this is what the hotel interface, whatever interface I have shown you. So here interface, this much code is there for only interface. Okay, so see here RMI we are calling here, because in the problem definition we have mentioned RMI, right? So here we are passing the two things, the guest name and room number. Okay, so here you need to pass this particular two parameters, guest name and room number. So interface code is very easy. Then we need to go for server code. So see here hotel server dot java. So you need to type this particular code on the BlueJ editor, and under that, okay, multiple things are given, like two two things we need to pass, the room name and server. Okay, so mapping function we need to create here. That mapping function is going to map with the interface, and then it will generate the result. So if you observe here, the hash map is there. So these many uh, libraries also we need to talk to our student. Okay, these packages are very important. Exception is occurred, then we need to talk about exception. We need to talk about this unicast remote object. All these things we need to talk to our student. If room is getting booked, it will show the room is booked. If room is already booked on the same number, then it will show the room is already booked. Okay, so in that way we need to check. See here, if booking is there, it will display. If you want to cancel the booking, cancellation is also done. If you are searching for the guest name, but that guest name is not there in your not there on the server side, then it will share it will send the message, or it will display the message, no booking for the guest is found. So in that way the things are playing the role. And see here, the port number is already there. This port number should be open while service is going to talk with the client and interface. So binding is very important. I think so already you all are aware about client server socket programming. Socket we have already learned in the computer network. So
Yes.
in that way we need to rebind, or we need to do the coding part for the server. Similarly, again one more code we need, that is for what? Client. So if you observe here, this is the code for client, where under that we need to give only the options, use cases, book a room, cancel the room, and exit. Only these three things are there, and user from their end are providing only their choices. Okay, enter the guest name for booking, enter the room number for booking, and that particular room is getting booked. Okay, so in that way the client can book their case. What is there in second case? Cancel the booking. For cancellation, we can ask for the guest name or for the room number. Okay, so if we are entering the guest name, just let's say I have booked the room 2, room number 2 with the name of Rajiv, right? So if I'm entering here the name Rajiv, then it will automatically check the entry in server, and the room is getting cancelled from my entry. So it shows the room is getting successfully cancelled. So hope all these three cases are clear to you. Again, I will come to the steps of installation. These three things we need to create. We need to double click on this. We need to create the code for this. Automatically these particular dotted lines are getting created. Okay, and after that we need to perform. Okay, we need to right click on the interface and do the compile. Okay, first step आपको आपको करना क्या है? आपको right click करके you need to right click on this and perform the step of compile. While performing the compile, if errors are not there, then it shows no error, code is compiled. Second step, you need to compile the code of hotel server. You need to compile the code of hotel client. Once the compilation is done, again you need to perform the 3 steps back. Okay, so what are the next 3 steps? Again, right click on this and see multiple options are there. Out of multiple option, first step you need to click on compile. In the second step, you need to click on this particular blue line, void main. That means now you are running the main Java program. In the compilation, you are just going to observe the error. But in the hotel server program, you need to compile now with the void main, and now your program is getting compiled. Okay, now server, while you are running this with BlueJay ID, the new screen will appear and it shows the hotel server is running. Okay, in the next step, now you run with the hotel client. Again, click on the hotel client, and when you are clicking on the hotel client with the main program, this void main program, and when you are clicking on the OK, then with the hotel client, when this particular method calling is done, then it will see here hotel server is running like this. Then next step, client, when you are running your client, it will show the menu like this: book room, cancel booking, and exit. Okay, and then you can give the choice. Okay, you can give the appropriate choice in the code, so that if you are giving the one choice, then it will show the room booking, enter the name, then enter the room number, the room is booked. Okay, then give the second choice, whatever you have booked, you can cancel with that also. Try with the different permutations and combination. In that way, this particular assignment is getting over. So any doubt in this assignment? I will give the short summary, and then we will proceed with the next. Here we need to download the BlueJ IDE, we need to create the interface, we need to create the server, we need to create the client. Okay, BlueJ IDE, you need to set the environment path. After installing BlueJ IDE, you need to set the environment path in the BlueJ IDE, and RMI you need to use. Na? By default, it is disabled. So go to your Windows. Under that one RMI library is there. Open that and just enable that particular RMI library also. Okay, so after installing, we need to do the two things. We need to set the environment path and we need to enable the RMI library if it is disabled. Then create the project name is created, create the interface is created, create the server is created, create the client is created, double click on server, double click on interface, double click on client, type the respective codes, compile it first, and then execute with the void main. First run the server is in listening mode, then it is getting bind with the client is entering the choices like menu 1, menu 2, and exit. In that way, this assignment you can perform and give the additional part as advanced assignment like different check-in, check-out times and rest of the tasks you can assign to the thing. So this is what the RMI booking assignment that is there. I have prepared the lab manual also. Again, I will share with the hosting team. Okay. Then second assignment is the Hadoop. So it's difficult to show the runtime Hadoop here because Ubuntu is needed, and in that we need to do the multiple things. But we have already tested this particular steps, and these steps are there, and follow all these steps one by one as it is. And the operating system that you need is the open source Ubuntu 18.6 version onwards you can use up to the 22 point version. Okay, so with the any version, this is particular assignment is compatible. And in this assignment, we need to check the average weather or average temperature or day, or we can check the hottest and lowest temperature of the month. In that way we can do. So I have manually created one of the database of weather, that also I will provide with everyone. And these steps you need to follow, and for that I have created the code also. That code also I will provide with everyone. Okay, so hotel code is there and weather code. So under weather code, again we need to, because this is the Hadoop assignment, we need to do the Hadoop installation first. Then three classes are very important in Hadoop installation, that is mapper, reducer, and driver, because driver is going to drive the mapper and reducer classes, right? So these three things are very important. So Hadoop installation steps, the first is you need to update your system, install the JDK with online Oracle from the Oracle platform, or offline platform is also available. Manually also you can download and you can install. So install with online platform or install with the offline platform. Then next one is to retrieve the Java path. Okay, for that you need to give this particular command so that you come to know whatever Java you have installed, which is available on which path. So this particular path is also available there. You need to change the path. Okay, so for changing the path, this particular step you need to perform. Then SSH installation is very important. All these steps you need to carry out while configuring the Hadoop on your system. So perform all these particular steps. You need to change the mode also. You need to run the SSH on localhost. You need to install sudo apt get install in the OpenSSH. This particular package also you need to install. In that way the things are done. Then actual Hadoop configuration will start. So from this particular link, the Hadoop is getting fetched with this command, and it will start installing the Hadoop on your system. Then the that RR file is there. RR file is getting installed. After installing this particular part too, then bash file is created. Open this particular bash file and copy this particular code there. This code we need to copy there, right? After copying, save the file. Okay, and again execute this particular command, then switch to Hadoop directory. Okay, and under that you need to edit this particular XML file. So this XML file also you need to edit there, and with this XML file edition, okay, after editing everything, now you need to move to the root. Okay, now you need to move on the admin panel. Okay, and after that you need to set, because Hadoop distributed file system is created under the Hadoop platform, and their distributed file system will run the mapper and reducer class. So this you need to run this particular command. Then you need to run this particular commands also, and whatever shell you have configured here in this step, that you need to start, because all these changes whatever you have done in that particular file, that is getting reflected. Okay, so this particular shell, you need to run it back again. This will appear like this. Then you need to run this particular commands jps and stop cell. Okay, and here the Hadoop installation is over. Okay, this much is this much is the Hadoop installation. But many of you will face a lot of error. So what sort of error is there? So you need to follow these steps for resolving the error. Okay, so I have written some solutions also. Okay, so these solutions are there. If any error occur like this, permission denied or anything, because socket permissions are disabled, you need to make it enable, right? So here the whole procedure is given, right? Again, that procedure or the another solution also I have written here, that you can follow, and whatever socket is disabled, you just make it enable, and you need to get the solution. So while installing the Hadoop, if you will face problem, then follow this particular step. Okay, then last one is to run that particular assignment, right? Okay, then we need to switch to the Hadoop bean. Okay, we need to provide this particular path. Gurukul, why the name is given Gurukul? Because whatever system is available in our campus, okay, that username is given as a Gurukul. You can change it with your name. Then when TCP localhost port number is given, that is 87, that is 9870. On that particular port, your program is getting, you need to check whether your Hadoop is properly installed or not. So with these three steps, you can check whether Hadoop is properly responding or not. Then steps to compile and run the application. As I already told you, we have created the program for weather, and under weather we need to identify the average value of weather, lowest value of weather, and highest temperature of that particular day in the weather table. Okay, so these are the steps you need to follow for running the code. Okay, this is what the sample weather, as I already told you, I have created one sample database, right? That is stored in the weather.txt file, right? So in that way you need to run this particular assignment. Running steps also I will share with you. So in that weather database, so this everything, all these three programs along with the weather database I will share with you. So these two assignments I have covered here. And with this, the demonstration of or the orientation of first two units and the execution of step-by-step execution of these two assignment I have covered. With this, I am again very much thankful to the hosting committee members and the DY Patil College Lohegaon for giving me this opportunity to share whatever knowledge is I have with me. And as we are already running half an hour late, so instead of wasting much more time, I handed over the session to Devani madam or to the host. You can proceed ahead with this. So thank you so much all
Thank you very
participants.
Thank you very much, sir. I just have one doubt. Can we able to use NetBeans ID instead of BlueJ?
Yes, sir, we can. As this, actually, I have tried this code with the Eclipse ID also, but BlueJ I have observed one of the simplest editor executing this. But you can use any of the editor. There is no issue in that, sir.
हा हॅलो हा काय नाही ऑफिसमध्ये आहे का अच्छा वर्क फ्रॉम होम
Now, thank you, sir, for
काय
this.
नाही नंतर तुझं काही कॉलेज नाही आला झालं का नाही सेटलमेंट वगैरे काय
Dikshender,
All
sir,
the
can you
colleagues are.
please mute yourself?
हा बर
Yes,
बर बर
okay. I just welcome Devani Bhave madam. Madam is currently working as an assistant professor at Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Kopargaon. She is having 17.7 years of experience and having specializations in machine. अरे हे असं आहे बघा आपलं.
आणि तीच रूम केली का फायनल का कुठे
Okay. Am I audible?
चांगली आहे ना रूम वगैरे सगळं व्यवस्थित आहे
Netचा issue.
आणि जेवणाचं कसं
Okay. Welcome, Dr. Devyani. I just would like to introduce about the madam. The madam is currently working as an assistant professor at Sanjeevani College of at Sanjeevani College of
त्याचा
Engineering, which
कोणता
is
का बाई लावून टाकली
uh, she is having
चांगले
7.7 years of experience and having specialization in machine learning and IoT web
काय
development.
शनिवारी रविवारी एकदा इकडे तुला बोर झालं तर काय नाही
Uh,
हं? आता या
compose
रविवारी तर
like
आम्ही चाललो बाहेर बंगलोरला चाललो हा बर बर आठवडाभर आहे 5 दिवस आता
Madam have delivered 10 plus expert sessions for the students.
बघ तुझ्या
And
ऑफिस मध्ये ते काय तू बोलली का विचारला की आमच्या इकडे पण आहे तुमच्याकडे
Madam have
requirement वगैरे
published
आहे
10 plus papers in various reputed journals and 8 plus
हा,
papers.
फक्त त्यांना मी विचार आणि असलं तर मग त्यांना जर असेल तर मग आमचे PMP वाल्यासोबत
Also,
ते
Madam
तुम्ही कॉन्टॅक्ट करा ते करतील
awarded
त्यांच्यासोबत
as a
कॉन्टॅक्ट त्यांना फक्त विचार चांगलं नॅक A+ फ्रॉड आहे हा
got award Lady Engineer
बरं मी
Awards.
कॉलेजची थोडीशी ब्राउचर आहे ना पाठवतो तुम्हाला म्हणजे आमचा इनटेक वगैरे भरपूर आहे 600च्या जवळपास मुलं आहे कम्प्युटर सायन्सला तर
Just
त्यांना
wait.
फक्त एकदा हे कर
Okay. Okay. Uh, am I audible? Sorry
Yes,
for
sir,
the
you are.
disturb-
Yes, sir.
Someone is talking in between, so just because of that, just sorry for the disturbances. Till now, the madam have delivered 10 plus expert sessions for the students, 5 plus expert sessions for the faculties, and also published 10 plus papers in various reputed journals, and 8 plus papers published in conferences. Also, Madam is having 2 patents and awarded as a Adarsh Mahila Puraskar from Malhar Foundation's Kopargaon, and also got awarded with Lady Engineer Awards at Ahmednagar. So, so with this, I just would like to hand over the session with the madam, and I'm definitely
For providing me this opportunity to talk about on the unit number 2 of the distributed computing. So without wasting our time, let me start with that, what we are going to have in the unit number 2. Is it visible, sir?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. In unit 2, as we have seen in unit 1, that the introduction regarding with this distributed data, distributed computing, and the different kinds of algorithms regarding with the AI we have covered. Now is the time to see that how the data are being managed and the storage in the distributed computing. So this unit is specifically, we can say, the broadly categorized into the 3 parts, where we are going to see in the first part the distributed computing frameworks and the different kinds of technologies. Then later on, we will focus on that how the data are being replicated and how they are going to be maintained consistently. And the third part that we will see that if you want to retrieve the data, then what kind of different indexing technologies or the retrieval techniques we need to use.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Fine. Okay, fine. So this unit 2 is focused on that analyzing the concept of data management and the storage in distributed computing. So let me see that what is the major objective behind this unit. Here we are going to learn that the distributed computing frameworks and the technologies, which are the different replication models, are there related with communication network. So here I just would like to say that whatever this distributed computing models we are going to be covered along with the message passing among them. So we are focusing on them that how they are going to be worked. Means instead of going too much depth because it becomes a very much bulky if we will focus on each and every in a very detailed that how their algorithms are going to be worked. So here I expecting that as it is only the focusing on the distributed computing frameworks and the technologies. So here we are simply giving the overview of it. Then after finishing it, that a major concern that I feel that the student must know regarding with this HDFS, that is called as the Hadoop distributed file system. So here we are going to focus on that how this HDFS operates in the distributed file system, then how the primary storage are going to be used by the Hadoop applications, and how we are transferring the data among the different nodes in that Hadoop file system. So here we are going to focus on that, how are managing the big data and how the big data analytics can be worked with help of HDFS. Similarly, if we'll focus on that, the Google file system, as we know that the Google file system is being developed by the Google for their own itself. So it is expected that we can cover the Google file system in much detail regarding with that how it will reduce the hardware flaws while it gains the commercial available on the server. Also, we are going to learn that how it manages the different data in the Google file system, like a file metadata and the file data. Then it is expected that this Google file system here we can learn that how this architecture should work, how the data are being divided into that master and the chunk servers, and how the data and the controls are being passed through these masters and the chunk servers in the Google file system. Then if we focused on the edge computing, as we have seen that here we are having the overview regarding with the parallel computing, right? Even on the cloud computing. So if we can simply focus on that. What is the major difference between the parallel computing, then comparative studies regarding with the edge computing? So we know that the edge computing, it is mainly introduced to reduce the latency requirement while processing the data and saving the network cost. So we have seen that what are the edges? So the edges are nothing but that the device communicates with the internet. So what kind of devices can be there? It can be your router, it can be your ISP, it can be your switching devices, etc. So here we are going to say that whatever the data are there in the cloud computing on the cloud, now how we can maintain it closer to that the originating source. So we can say that while learning this particular unit, we can comparatively see that what are the comparative studies regarding with the cloud computing, edge computing, parallel computing, and whatever the earlier we have used that the early computing and the personal computing. Means we can say that we are going to learn focused on that how does the advancement and how the cores are going to be close to the user and how the data are being accessed in this distributed computing. Once we have seen this overview, now remaining part of this Azure and the AWS, I will share you these PPTs in detail that how they are going to be learned. So we are simply focusing that how the Azure has been worked and how the Microsoft web services are going to be worked. Then later, once the data are being stored and we have seen these different architectures, then we have to focus on that, how the data, if there are data replications are there, how they are going to be maintained. So there are the different techniques as we are going to cover this eager, lazy, quorum, consist, and the selective replication, the strategies. Along with it, if we want to identify the consistency data, so there are some different consistency of the data are being getting from the strong casual. So here again, I request to while covering this syllabus, we can focus on that how the data are being replicated and how the consistencies can be happen. Along with this, all these techniques will be covered only in form of that what is their introduction and that stuff we'll see in the next slide. So as we have seen, the data replications are that what are the processes or creating the multiple copies, as we are seeing that the distributed. So that's why that there are the different backups are going to be maintained. So here we have to simply focusing on that the different locations for the there should be the fault tolerance, the network should be easily availability. So likewise a data replications can be happen, and then we have to focus on that the how these different techniques are going to be used to avoid these data replications. I will cover only the one of the simple technique is that the read and write consistency. In the read and the write consistency, as we have seen as in the distributed system, there are the master and slave. So on the master, whatever the changes are going to be maintained on that master are not always instantaneously available on that replicas on that server side. So whatever these replicas are not directly involved in contributing.
Hello, ma'am. Sorry to disturb you. I think your screen and screen is lagging. I am still on the slide number 3 objectives.
Okay. Oh my God, is it so? 1 second, sir. Actually, at my slide.
Yeah, ma'am. Now it's changing. Earlier it was.
Second, sir. Let me share the entire screen itself, sir. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. And sorry for delay. So here we are here at that the data replications. So we have seen that how the data are being replicated due to the enhancement of this network accessibility, and we are having the different locations and the backup issues were there. So we are expecting that these eager, lazy, quorum, concise, and the selective replication techniques are going to be used to identify that how we are going to avoid this data replication. As here are 4 to 6 strategies. So I request all the faculty members, let me have, again, this is on the line of a comparative studies, right? So how the eager and lazy are working and what are the major advantages and disadvantages of them itself. So if we focus on that consistency, right, in the data consistency, here we are going to say that whatever the transactions are going to be happen, and we are saying that once that content are being changed through the commit, then how the transaction commits are occurring through that prior on these replicas, they have to be maintained through either read and the write commit. So what we are expecting that if we want to cover the data replications, we can see that the introduction, what are the definition, and how these techniques are going to be worked along with their comparative studies. Similarly, if we focus on that consistency, again, I'm expecting and I feel because we have to cover within a 6 to 7 hours syllabus of unit 2. So again, we can focus on how this different consistency technique works and related with that a comparative studies. So student can able to understand. So again, here are few webinars are there based on this one. Again, I will share you the link and the other material. So once we are focusing on that, once the data are being replicated and stored, then we have to focus on that, how we are going to retrieve them. So before retrieving the data, we have to maintain the data through the data indexing. So here, again, this part C of unit 2, we can say that it is focused on that the distributed data indexing techniques like hash table, inverted table, range-based partitioning, and the content-based partitioning and peer-to-peer indexing technique, and how they are going to be used for the retrieval technique. So if we focus on, I'm going to cover one of the system, and other things I will share you definitely through the PPTs and some study materials. So here we are saying that once the data are loaded, okay, and these all the data are going to be provided in terms of that index. Means previously we have seen that only we are maintaining a normal index, right, or a normal in the database management system. But in the distributed indexing systems, we are going to maintain an index in each media agent, okay, which will store on the data storage. That is called as a master index. So this master index is points to that the index in each media of this agent. So we are going to learn that how these indexes are going to be worked and how they are available and to useful and to avoid the fault tolerance for this storage index. Similarly, in this one, okay, again, this distributed indexing is going to be taken through one of the patent study. I will share you this also. So in this indexing studies, we are going to focusing on that we are going to maintain that the master index and how they are going to be worked. Similarly, on this content-based indexing, as we have seen. Hello.
Madam, again same thing happened. I think you switched to the next slide, and we are still on the slide number 13.
Slide.
Yes, ma'am.
May I know which content is here? Is it distributed indexing?
No, data replication and consistency model.
How this one? Is it visible?
It is data replication.
Same slide. Is the screen visible to everyone?
Screen is visible, but
madam, screen is visible. Problem is, yes, sir. The screen is visible, but the slide is not moving.
Now, is it moving?
Can you please share it once? No, no. Still, it is just showing the data replication only.
Actually, good network is here. Okay, I'm sharing the entire screen. Is the screen visible now, sir? Rajiv, sir?
Ma'am, your old slide is there. Data replication and consistency model is there. It is not changed till.
Madam, can you please change the slide? We come to know.
Share the that it will be.
Sir, I have not
Forwarding from
shared.
our
I have
side, sir.
stopped sharing. Actually, I have stopped sharing.
But still it is just showing the same thing.
Okay, let me again share it. Is it visible now, sir?
The same thing which is showing, that is nothing but a data replication and consistency model. I will also.
Now I have stopped sharing. Okay. Now again, I have reshared it. Is it visible now, sir?
No, madam. This same
No.
screen.
Ma'am, do one thing. Just refresh your browser.
Okay, okay. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. Is the screen visible now, sir?
No, ma'am. Actually, your video is.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, yes, screen is visible, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will make it as it
And
is. I won't make the full screen.
one more thing,
Okay.
ma'am.
Ah.
Stop your video also, so your
Yeah.
net connection
Yeah,
also
yeah.
is good in that case.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Is it there, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
ma'am.
Yes,
So, yeah. In the second unit that we are going to say, as we have discussed, that the data replication techniques are eager, lazy, quorum, conciseness, and selective. So here we are expecting that we shall cover only the regarding with their definition, how these techniques works, and how they are comparatively better with each other. On the same line, whatever the data are going to be stored on this with the consistency model. So we will work on this on the strong consistency, eventually read your write and this consistent prefix and the casual different techniques along with their again definitions, how these techniques work and along with their comparative studies. Okay. Then we'll focus on that as the data are being stored on the nodes, right? Then how the data are going to be retrieved. So for that purpose, we needed that the indexing of those data. So for that purpose, we are going to be learn here that the distributed hash table indexing technique, inverted indexing technique, range-based indexing technique, and the content-based indexing technique. So instead of going each and every technique, again, I request here to everyone that we will cover in the class that how these techniques work, what is a major hurt among them, what is the important things over them, and again, the comparative studies we can go. So as we have seen previously also in the distributed indexing system technique here, instead of maintaining the single indexes, we are going to be maintain a distributed index which is focused on that the media agent, or we can say the master agent or master index, which focused on each and every media. So here in this we can say that whatever the indexing load is there, which is going to be segregated among the different stored data on the different storage system. So instead of maintaining the single index, here we are going to maintain a master index over here. Similarly, on the context-based indexing, on that, as we have learned, or we know that the content-based image retrieval technique, on the same line here, this content-based indexing is work. In this technique here, our data, whatever the data is organized, which is mostly your images, audio, videos, and the text are going to be retrieved, okay, based on that context. Even what are the different metadata are there, instead of relying on the data or any other external references. Similarly, if we focused on that, the range-based partitioning technique, we know that this is the technique which is used in the data management strategies. So same technique we are going to be used in a distributed system where we are dividing a large data set among the multiple nodes or the servers. So as we are dividing the data into the ranges, so the main part is that we have to define the range, and then we are going to be say how this data is going to be performed that partitioning, right? So likewise here we are going to cover that the range-based partitioning and the peer partitioning index itself. Okay, so again here we are saying that what are the index, how this technique works, and how they are comparatively working on it. As we have seen, this unit 2 is broadly focused on that. Okay, is broadly focused on that here, that overview of the distributed computing frameworks and technologies. So here we are focusing on that. The major thing is that AWS and the Microsoft Azure and the Google Cloud Platform. Here in that Microsoft Azure and the AWS, as we know that in the cloud computing, we are having the SaaS, PaaS, IaaS are called as a platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, application as a service. So all these techniques, how are going to be used in that AWS and the Microsoft Azure. Okay, and as we have seen that here the data are going to be covered in that HDFC and the Google file system itself. Okay, so this is what I would like to cover, tell you for the unit number 2 on this distributed computing system. Sir, any problem or any doubt here? So I'm going to share this detailed, even what are the different links and the ebooks are there through the organizing committee, and everyone will get that thing. So we'll focus on that. Second one is that a lab assignment. In this lab assignment, here we are going to cover that one program which is designed in a distributed application using MapReduce under the Hadoop. Means are you having the 2 Java programs? One is that character counting in the given text file, and number 1 is that we are going to find out or counting that how many, what is the occurrence of that word itself. Okay, so here it is prepared one doc file, which is a manual. So in this one, we are going to be learned that how we are going to use a MapReduce and the Hadoop system. Priorly, Dr. Bandari sir has explained you that how to install the Hadoop system. And now we are going to use that the Hadoop to implement our this program. Okay, so here the some stepwise instructions has been given. As we know that even as the Bandari sir has explained you that we are having the 3 major concerns like a mapper and the reducer and the driver. So on the same line here, we are going to be cover the 3 Java small programs. One is called as a driver, and one is called as a mapper, and one is called as the reducer. So in that mapper code, we are going to copy paste this code over here, which is explaining that how this Hadoop is going to be perform that we can say the input file into that small number of tokens. And we know that here that the line are going to be token with help of the spaces. Okay, so we are going to split that line. Then in the reducer code, okay, in that reducer code, whatever we have going in the map function, we have divided the tokens into that reducer. We are going to read that tokens, and similarly, our counts are going to be increased. So that's why here we are saying that we are going to develop a one function. That function is we can say as a reduce function. Okay. After that, a driver program we have to we can say start into the driver program. We are going to
Madam,
add a yes sir.
madam, we are still on the your slide, not shifted to the manual.
Okay, sir. What I will do, can I share this? Kohli, sir, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sir, you please continue with your session. I will share you the lab. When you start the lab, I will join you again. Will it be okay, sir? Okay.
I'm okay with
Okay. I hand over the mic to the organizing committee as something delay is there at my side. So I will share the lab assessment part to the Kohli sir, and when the Kohli sir will complete it, again I will join back to him. So thank you sir very much, and I apologize it to everyone for this delaying and some misconfusion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful guidance. Whatever the part is remaining, that we will cover it afterwards. So now our next guest is Professor P.B. Kohli, sir. Sir is having approximate 11 years of experience in dedicated teaching and currently working as assistant professors at SNJB's late Sau KB Jain College of Engineering, which is situated at Chandwad near Nashik. Sir contributed in BE AIDS syllabus drafting for 2023 and 24. Also completed Udemy course for the Pythons with the data science. And sir also awarded with the NPTEL certifications for data structure and algorithm. Sir is also the member of IAENG. So now, to get the benefit of such a good expertise, I would like to hand over the session to PB Kohli, sir.
Thank
sir,
you,
over
sir.
to you.
Yes, yes. I'm audible to everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. I thanks to organizing team of Ajinkya D.Y. Patil College of Engineering and also the Professor Bhagyashri, Head of Department. Also thanks to the BS Chairman, Dr. Nilesh Uke, sir, Deepali ma'am, Dipti ma'am, for giving us chance to the part of the syllabus setting. Also thanks to Dr. Raju Bhandari as a I am the part of his team. Now moving towards my screen is visible. Wait.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible right now.
Okay. Visible, sir?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. So I'm going to present unit number 4 from distributed computing. As sir gives already the guideline about the theory part, the teaching scheme and everything, as well as the CO of particular distributed computing subject. So mainly I focus on the CO number 4, that is understanding the integration of machine learning algorithm and advanced tools used in distributed computing. So this is what the syllabus of unit number 4, where basically this unit will be divided again into the 3 parts: introduction to distributed machine learning algorithm. The second part mostly focus on the software to implement the distributed machine learning, where we cover the Spark, GraphLab, Google TensorFlow, and like that. And the third part is what the integration of AI algorithms in distributed system. And totally this unit and all the unit, all we can cover into the 6 hours per unit. So the basic doubts in every faculty member is what there are the so many contents, so how we can cover this whole unit into the 6 hours. So that is what also the first question that comes in our mind when we go for syllabus designing. But this part is necessary to introduce in this all the unit or in this subject. So basically when you go for the teaching to the student, you focus because some of the part already we taught into the artificial intelligence or ANN in third unit, as well as machine learning in the first semester of the B. So you have to just touch up all this part and mostly focus on the whatever the new advanced part we introduce in this unit. So no need to explain again the all this parallelism or what is exactly the machine learning and like that. So mainly, and also one more thing for this unit, whatever the software like Spark, GraphLab, you can, or Google TensorFlow, so you can also cover it into your practical slot apart from that 6 assignment, because this is what the you have to install the Spark or GraphLab or Google TensorFlow. Already student know something about that. So you have to mainly focus on the theory part and some advanced part from this unit number 4. And also the case study of this unit is what distributed machine learning and AI in fraud detection. So let's what you can cover. So basically, when you start with this unit number 4, you have to first focus on the give the just simple definition about what exactly the machine learning and how comes you towards the distributed machine learning, because student must know the you can why you go for the distributed machine learning. So distributed machine learning, we can say that it is a subfield of machine learning where you can learning you involve the training models across the multiple computers and machine, as our we can cover it in distributed computing. And this is done to handle the large data set. That's why we go for the distributed machine learning. So you have to tell the some differences or how you can switch from machine learning to the distributed machine learning. So this is what the machine learning distributed machine learning architecture you can explain to the student. So where you can find out the different database or different machine you can consider as a node 1, node 2, and there are the different n number of nodes where the first the you can send the gradient to the server, and where this server will be secure the all the values or aggregate all the values, and again sending back this model update to the this all this node, and then this node will be updated. So this is what the simple distributed machine learning architecture you have to explain architecture. The whole data set is divided into the subset, as you can see in this architecture: node 1, node 2, and node 3. And this is what the neural network, you can say that, where the input they will given or send to the server. Okay, and each node has the complete model but only works with the part of training data, and the central server which will be aggregate. This central server aggregate the all the parameter from each node information of each local model and transfer the global parameter to the local model to guide the model training. And then if the performance of the new global model is still not satisfactory, then again it will start the process. The same way whatever you will see in the your neural network. So this is what the input you can provide input to this layer, then it will goes to the next layer, and then finally output will come up from this output layer. And if the output is not the whatever our actual output, then again we go for the back propagation. So same way you can do here in distributed machine learning. So you can send the gradients, then server will be aggregate that, and again it will sending back to the model for updating. Again it will not up to the mark, again then this process will be continue up to where you will get the actual result. So this is what the distributed machine learning architecture you have to explain to the student. Then next one is again the types of distributed machine learning model where you can explain the data parallelism and model parallelism. So you can clearly see that in data parallelism and model parallelism. In data parallelism, the training data is divided among the multiple machine, and each machine train a copy of the model on its own subset of data, and the result are then averaged to produce the final model. So basically in different machine have the complete copy of the model in case of data parallelism, where in case of model parallelism, the model itself is divided among the multiple machine. Like see, if you look at this diagram, okay, the whole model is divided into the different model itself. Each machine train the different part of the model on its own data, and the result are then combined to produce the final model. So that is what the basic difference you will find out between the data parallelism and model parallelism. So again, I will show with the this diagram also. You can show this same diagram to the students, so they will be identify the differences between the model parallelism and data parallelism. Where in data parallelism, each machine will be worked separately, and the final result will be aggregated. Where in case of model parallelism, you will see the machine 1, machine 2, and machine 3, which will given to the data to the or the output of machine 4, and that will be combined. Then coming toward the next, you have to explain the distributed gradient descent. But before that, you have to explain to the student what exactly the gradient descent. Gradient descent already they studied into the machine learning, or you can give the example about the gradient descent, where that will be basically useful for the optimizing algorithm or optimization algorithm for finding the minimum of function. So I have to explain student about the gradient descent and then come to the distributed gradient descent. So in distributed gradient descent is a powerful technique used to train the machine learning model on large data set across the multiple machine or computing modes. In overall, if you find out that whatever the concept we can taken it from the machine learning or artificial intelligence, so same way we can give the distributed approach. So first of all, student must be aware about their whatever the prerequisite about the machine learning or artificial, all these things like gradient descent, or there are the different machine learning algorithm they already studied in the their previous semester. Okay, so again in the federated learning, another exciting technique in the real-time distributed machine learning, and which will be step further in the terms of data privacy and security. So you can show with the help of diagram that the approach of this federated learning, where it will allows the training models without the compromising the user privacy, where you will see the traditional method that requires the centralized data on server. So where federated learning empower the decentralized training on individual devices. So that is what the difference between the traditional method, how it will be do the centralized thinking, where in case of distributed federated learning, it will be empower the decentralized training on individual devices. So data will be stored onto the you can mobile or laptop or your tab, and that will be you can see out in the figure itself. So it will be distributed around the all the local devices. Okay, and whatever the update, again it will come back and reframe it. Then the all reduce, when you go for the all reduce, first thing is what you have to give the introduction about the reduce. That is what the MPI all reduce or MPI reduce. So student must aware about the what is the MPI reduce. That is one type of prototype, and then you move on to the all reduce. That is in our syllabus. So it's a fundamental building block in the world of distributed machine learning, where in distributed gradient descent, each worker calculate the gradient based on its local data, and to update the global model parameter, this gradient need to be combined, and in case of all reduce, provide the synchronized way to achieve this. So these are the things you have to tell to the student. You have to not go to the more detail. You have to explain the prototype of MPI reduce or MPI all reduce. All the prototype I will be share with again the in our detailed PPTs, where you can show the what is the prototype of reduce, what is the prototype of all reduce, MPI all reduce. Then the another the Hogwild is a proposed lock-free parallel stochastic gradient descent. That will be the multiple workers or threads. We can say that in case of our distributed system, simultaneously access and update the share model parameter without using any locking mechanism. In this Hogwild, again you have to explain to the student the feature of Hogwild, what are the challenges you will face in case of this Hogwild, and the application of this Hogwild. Again, here is the some of the things I will mention. If you are trained the neural network by yourself on your machine, and you have the probably notice the time and computing power consumed while doing so. So basically, when using the big data sets of computer vision or other high dimensional training data, so Hog will provide the parallel process for reducing the overall training time, where you will not get into the neural network where you can train each and every machine. But in case of Hog can process all these things parallelly, and it will be the consume your time. So that's the same thing you can explain to the student. Coming to the elastic averaging, stochastic gradient descent, again here you can explain what exactly this, what are the advantage of this, what are the challenges, and what are the application of this EASGD model. Uh, you can spend at least 15 to 20 minutes on each and every topics. What exactly this, what are the advantage, what are the challenges, or whether the features of that particular things. So this is all about your first part, where you will be the introduction to the distributed machine learning algorithm. Then coming towards the software to implement the distributed machine learning, that is what the interesting part. And student must install all this Spark, GraphLab uh, in the laboratory time, because it's not possible to install in the particular classroom. Okay, so you can cover some of the part in the lab assignment also. So I'll explain one of the like Spark. So you can give the what exactly the Apache Spark, the history about the Apache Spark, means how it will comes to the system. So basically we know that the in day-to-day life, the 90% of data generated from last 2 years are very exponentially, and it is very hard to process all this data. And to address this challenge, so that's why they come up with the concept of big data, and then come up with the Hadoop concept. So in this way you can tell to the student the how the Spark, then after the in 2006 the Hadoop will become. And this is what they design one particular, or they introduce the distributed processing approach, where mainly they are focused on the SDFS and the map reduce. You have not go into the detail what exactly the SDF says or map reduce, that are already covered into the unit first, second, and third. So you have to explain to the student about how Apache Spark. Then there are the Spark is the limitation of your Hadoop. And what are the basic limitation of that Hadoop is whatever the data you collect, so that all data will be stored into the disk. And obviously when you store some data onto the disk, so it is very what time consuming, or we can say that it will make your data processing very slow. That is what the main reason or one of the limitation of Hadoop. And the second is what, it will process the data in batches in case of Hadoop. Okay, so that are the limitations. So that's why they maybe I don't know the year where the Apache Spark, but yeah, yes, in 2009 the Apache Sparks come to overcome the limits of this Hadoop. Okay, and they come up with the concept of RDT, that is the resilient distributed data set. They work on that. So in that case, you have to explain to the student in this way. And also apart from that, in case of Apache Spark, you can explain to the student what exactly the Spark core, then the Spark SQL structure query language, then Spark streaming, and the how Spark mlib will be work. So this is what the overall about this first software about the implement the distributed machine learning. Same way you can explain the GraphLab, that is what the another new parallel framework for the machine learning that will be written in C++. Basically it will incorporate with the SGD, and that is stochastic gradient descent and gradient descent. You have to explain to the student the architecture of GraphLab and how the installations, all the detail about the installation steps of all the software, like your Spark, GraphLab, Google TensorFlow, parallel ML system, that is what the PATM. All these we are give in more detail in our whatever slide. Same thing we share with the hosting team. Okay. Then last part of this unit is what the integration of AI algorithm in distributed system. So same way, whatever we know about the resource management or the fault tolerance. In fault tolerance, the you have to into your case study also, or give the task to the student about the distributed machine learning and AI in the fraud detection. So you can follow the same pattern whatever the Bhandari sir told in their first case study, the introduction or the title of that particular case study, how you can implement, is there any requirement, all these things student you can take it from the student. Okay, then the anomaly detection, predictive analytics, intelligent task uploading. So these are the some of the things you have to explain to the student one by one. Okay. So this is what the from my side about the unit number 4, distributed machine learning and artificial intelligence. So is there any doubt related to unit number 4, or which topics will focus more or like that? So we can proceed with the assignment number 5 from the CL3 lab. Hello. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we proceed with the lab?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, okay. So, lab assignment from CL3 laboratory, that is assignment number 5, and the title of this assignment is what? Write code to simulate requests coming from the client and distribute them among the servers using the load balancing algorithm. Again, this was one of the simplest assignment from the CL3. So where you have to explain the student what exactly the load balancing algorithm, how it will be work. So basically there are the multiple requests comes from the client, and all these are directed to the different multiple server. So from this assignment, student know that how we can ensure that the every server gets an equal number of requests. So that is what our aim. So whatever the requests come from the client, so every server will get the equal number of requests. So for that, we follow this approach. There are the two ways we can do with this assignment. So basically, we can go with the hashing technology also, where these are the incoming requests, and this is what the part of load balancer, where load balance will be gives request ID with the help of hash function, and with the help of this formula, it will be assigned the destination server to the particular request. Okay, so that is what the outcome or the output of this assignment. So you can apply the hashing approach. Otherwise, you can go with the what load. You can use the two types of class in the load balancer. That is a round robin, or you can say that random selection. These are the two things you can. This is what the code of this, where you can define one load balancer class, where you define the two functionality. One is the round robin, and another one is the random selection. Because when the request comes from what we can say that the different clients, so that will use the two approaches, maybe the random selection for that particular server, or maybe the in the round robin fashion. So these are the two functions we can define into this class, and then we can proceed that request with the help of this simulate client request to the particular server. I quickly run the same code. You can use the any online. Here I will use the one online compiler. Okay, so simply I already run it. Okay, so this is what the code, and this is what the request one, which will use the round robin fashion, which will be assigned to the particular server. So here we'll mention the different server A, server B, server C. So you have to show to the student which request will go to the which server. Okay, so this is what the assignment number 5 from the CL3. The title is what? The right simulate the request coming from the client, and that will be distributed them among the servers using the load balancing algorithm. Okay, so this is from my end regarding unit number 4 and assignment number 5. So is there any doubt to the participant?
No, sir.
Okay. I think Devani ma'am want to share his assignment. Devani ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So can you please share the same with me so I can present, or you?
Yeah, I
present?
have mailed you. I have mailed
Okay,
you, sir.
okay, you mailed me. Yes. Is this visible to everyone?
Yeah, sir. It is
Yes, sir.
visible.
Yes,
Hmm.
ma'am. Please explain.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, sir. So sorry for the disturbance. So in this assignment, we are going to develop one program. Into that, we are going to count the number of characters and even that how the occurrence of every word in the given file. So as we are going to develop, we needed a Java. So we have to use the Eclipse, and into that Eclipse, we needed a 3 class files. One file as a mapper, one file for the driver, and one file for the reducer.
Madam, your voice
So
is breaking.
is it now, sir? Hello.
Yes, yes, it is audible.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. It is audible.
So in the map, yeah, in the mapper and the reducer. So following the codes are there. So kindly scroll it down, please.
Sure.
Yeah. So as Raju sir has explained in that Hadoop, we needed this mapper and reducer code. So in that mapper code, we are going to split the input string, okay? And in the reducer code, we are going to count that how many occurrence of that word or that character is there. Sir, please scroll up. So this is the program only for the character count. Sir, please scroll it down, sir. Scroll it down. So here is a mapper code. Then we are having the reducer code. Please scroll it down, sir. Then we are having a driver code. Okay. So please scroll it down. Yeah. Now in the driver code, please, yeah. Here in this is the Java means we have to configure the code. Okay. Scroll it down, sir. And then after performing it, we have to install the Hadoop. Hello, am I audible? So we have to
Yes,
install
yes,
the
yes.
Hadoop core. Yeah. So into that Hadoop core, so first of all, we have to check what is the Hadoop version is there. Based on that, we are going to download the Hadoop jar file and similarly Hadoop map reduce core file. After performing it, that we are going to configure this Hadoop with our in step number 4, we are going to configure this jar file with our character count project as a Java file. After that, once it is there, then we have to click on that Java as given in the step number 5. Okay, then we have to click on that browse button and we have to simply perform this the setting over there. Sir, please scroll it down. Means once our program is ready, then we have to create a one file. Okay, into that file we have to produce. We have to type our input file as an input file and type something, some text over there. Then we have to open that Hadoop. So into that opening that Hadoop, there is a syntax that HDFS DFS dash put slash file path and the destination. And then we have to check that whether this root directory of this HDFS is or not. If everything is good, now then we can run this jar file with help of this given command, which is given in step number 9. So please scroll it down. Then in step number 10, here also we have given that if you want to run this code, then what is the syntax over there? Then we have to type this syntax into the our HDFS code, where what is the output file? As we have seen, the output file is the test.txt, and then the code name is that character count result. After running this, we are going to see that a local host, and to that local host we can get the expected output over there. So here again there is one good YouTube video I found, that where we can understand that how we can install the Hadoop on that Ubuntu itself and calculate the character count also. So that's enough, sir, from my side.
Okay. Okay, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can I start sharing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
So right now the voice is not audible.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are done from our side. So hand over to you.
Okay. Uh, so our next expert is Professor Surbhi Pagar, madam. Madam is basically having 10 years of experience and currently work as an assistant professor at DYP IEMR Akurdi, Pune. The key research area of the madam is mobile computing, data mining, and the image processing. Madam have basically up till now completed 7 NPTEL courses and the 5 Coursera certifications. Along with that, 80 plus conferences have been attended by the madam till now. So with this vast information, with that much knowledge, so now we can get the benefit of that such an expert.
Sir.
Madam,
Sir, you are not audible.
Hello, Surbhi ma'am. Audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Share
Shall I
your
start?
screen and start. Yes.
Okay. My screen is visible, sir.
Yes. Make it as a full screen.
Now is it okay?
Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. So already unit number 1 to unit number 4 has been covered by other dignitaries. So I will directly move on to the content of unit number 5 and unit number 6. So In this unit number 5, you have to tell your students, we have to tell our students that what different big data processing frameworks are there in distributed computing. They are named as Hadoop, Apache Spark, Apache Storm, Samza, and Flink. Already some of the content of all these frameworks has been covered in the unit number 1 and unit number 3 by Dr. Bhandari sir. And the detailed study of this framework we have to do in the unit number 5. The next topic we have to tell them is parallel and distributed data processing techniques, which are SISD, SIMD, MISD, MIMD, SPMD, and MPP. Now, this parallel distributed processing techniques students have already learned during their second year in the operating system syllabus. The 2 more parallel and distributed processing techniques we have added in this syllabus of distributed computing. Those are SPMD, single program multiple data, and massively parallel processing, that is MPP. So we have to tell more information about these 2 types as the before some instruction sets have already covered in the operating system. The third topic we are having in unit number 5 is scalable data injection. जहाँ पे आपको बताना है what is data injection and how it is different from scalable one. What are the different types of injection, their benefits, challenges, tools, and transformations we are having in distributed systems. The last topic of unit number 5 is real-time analytics and streaming analytics. Most of the times we use these 2 words as synonyms, like real-time analytics is nothing but the streaming analytics, like we said, but they are different one. You have to convey this information to students that how they are different from one another. You can take example of real-time analytics and streaming analytics to differentiate between them. So starting with the big data processing framework, the first one is Hadoop. We mainly use for processing the big data in the distributed computing. Now, while explaining this Hadoop, you have to tell student the architecture of Hadoop, how it works. The main 3 components we are having in Hadoop is HDFS, Hadoop file system, MapReduce, and YARN. These are the 3 main components we are having in the architecture. So I have to explain those 3 components as during the examinations, they may have a short note question on this separate components, as well as they can have the question like write a short note on or explain the architecture of Hadoop. So you have to explain this architecture with all these components to the students well. The second framework we are having is Apache Spark. This is used for real-time analytics. In this Spark, if you see the architecture, we are having the workers and driver node. So you have to explain what is driver node, what is worker, why they are differentiated, what is the Spark framework, how to install it, how to use it. Likewise, you have to tell the details about Apache Spark to the students. The next come is Apache Storm. Again, it is having some sort of architecture where we are having different components like cluster, master, supervisors, and worker. So students should know the definition and working of each of the component we are having in this Storm. Next is SAMZA. It is again a big data processing framework, and it also make use of the component that we are having in the Hadoop, that is YARN, and it also make use of the another big data framework, that is Apache Kafka. So all these data frameworks are interrelated to each other. So before you start with the SAMZA, you should proceed with the Hadoop. You should start with the Hadoop, you should complete the Kafka, then only student will get to know what is Apache SAMZA framework, as they are interrelated to each other. The last big data framework we are having is the Flink. This is the architecture diagram of Flink framework, and you should explain what is actor system, what is scheduler, what is coordinator, what this program code is, what is optimizer, how the client work, how the client access the server, whether we should start the server first or we should start with the client first. All these things should be known to the students well before, as during the practical examinations also we are not only focusing on the execution of program, we are also asking the question during the viva. So all these components should be known to the students, because the practicals are based on this big data framework only. So when the external will ask them about this framework, they should able to explain this architecture, and each and every component of architecture we have explained them during the lectures. So this was the 5 frameworks, big data frameworks we are having in distributed systems. The next topic we are having in unit number 5 is parallel and distributed data processing techniques. As we have said, it is SISD, single instruction, single data, SIMD, single instruction, multiple data, MISD, multiple instruction, single data, then multiple instruction, multiple data, single program, multiple data,
Hello?
and massively.
Madam, येतात
Yes,
ना?
sir. Okay, and next is massively parallel processing. So these are few parallel and distributed data processing technique to speed up the execution of program, to speed up the execution of instructions. Out of this, the first 4 types of parallel processing has been already covered during the operating system syllabus. So you better make students aware of these 2 types, that is SPMD and MPP. These are the parallel and distributed data processing techniques. This is just a flow diagram, how they have been invented gradually. And this is the final diagram where you can explain the working of each and every type of the parallel and distributed processing technique well. The next topic we are having is scalable data injection. Here you have to explain what do you mean by the data injection, what is the definition of data ingestion, which are the different type of ingestion. On this topic, on this particular topic, they may have question like differentiate between the different types of data injection, or explain any one topic in detail, any one type in detail. So students should know the mechanism, advantages, disadvantages, and tools to be used for each of the particular type. So you make aware the student about all these things of the data ingestions. Here they also have the question like what are the benefits are there, what are the tools can be used. So each and everything should be properly conveyed to students so that they can answer them properly. The last topic from unit number 5 is real-time analytics and streaming analytics. So these are the 2 different terms. Most of the times we use both terms as a synonym to each other, similar word to each other, but they are having differences between them. So you have to convey this to students, that what is the differentiation between the real-time analytics and the streaming analytics. If you see this diagram, the first diagram is real-time analytics and the second is streaming analytics. तो रियल टाइम एनालिटिक्स में क्या होता है, लाइक जब भी हम ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट से हम जब शॉपिंग करते हैं, तो आई हैव परचेज अ प्रोडक्ट फ्रॉम अ ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट, लेट अस टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ अमेजोन और फ्लिपकार्ट, तो वहां से हम एक प्रोडक्ट परचेज करते हैं हमारा। वो परचेस होने के बाद क्या होता है, नेक्स्ट टाइम जब भी हम शॉपिंग करने जाते हैं या सेम डे जब भी हम शॉपिंग करने जाते हैं, हम वेब पेज चेक करते हैं तो वहां पे हमें पर्सनलाइजेशन दिखता है अकॉर्डिंग टू द चॉइसेस आई हैव मेड, अकॉर्डिंग टू द फिल्टर्स आई हैव यूज्ड फॉर मेकिंग अ परचेस ओवर द साइट। तो वो क्या करते हैं, व्हाटएवर डेटा आई हैव फीडेड, they use that data, they make a personalized suggestions for me, they make recommendations for me, and they show that recommendation to me on that particular web page. या ऑफलाइन भी अगर हम कहाँ पे शॉपिंग करने जाते हैं, जैसे हम बाटा के शोरूम में शॉपिंग करने जाते हैं या फिर हम बिग बाजार में शॉपिंग करने जाते हैं, तो वहाँ पे वो हमारा नाम, नंबर, डिटेल्स वगैरह नोट कर लेते हैं, और उसके बाद जब भी वहाँ पे कोई सेल होता है, कोई ऑफर्स होते हैं, तो हमें मैसेज आता है उस पर्टिकुलर चीज का कि वी आर हैविंग दिस मच डिस्काउंट, वी आर हैविंग दिस ऑफर्स ऑन दिस प्रोडक्ट, सो यू कैन कम टू शॉप एंड you can visit the shop and you can buy those products. तो वो हो जाता है रियल टाइम एनालिटिक्स. वंस यू हैव टू क्रिएट दैट इंसिडेंट्स एंड उसके जो कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस होते हैं, दैट इज द रियल टाइम एनालिटिक्स. And what is streaming analytics? Many of us uses the share market, we uses the stock for the benefits. तो वहाँ पे जब भी हम कोई स्टॉक परचेस करने जाते हैं तो उसे परचेस करना है या नहीं करना है, उसके लिए हम चार्ट देखते हैं ना, वहाँ पे कैंडल्स वाला चार्ट देखते हैं. तो वो क्या होता है, स्ट्रीमिंग एनालिटिक्स होता है. जब भी इंसिडेंट्स हैपन होता है, एट द सेम टाइम वी आर चेकिंग दैट डेटा एंड वी आर मेकिंग प्रेडिक्शंस फ्रॉम दैट डेटा, वी आर मेकिंग स्टैटिस्टिक्स फ्रॉम दैट डेटा, वी आर एनालाइजिंग दैट डेटा एंड वी आर giving the prediction over that data. We are taking the predictions from that data. So that is the streaming analytics. So these are two different concepts that you have to convey to students so that they can differentiate between them. This is how the real-time analytics works and this is the streaming analytics. तो जहाँ पे रियल टाइम एनालिटिक्स यूज होता है वहाँ पे यूजर को रिकमेंडेशन दिए जाते हैं वंस द इंसिडेंट हैज हैपेंड. एंड स्ट्रीमिंग एनालिटिक्स में जब भी इंसिडेंट्स हो रहा होता है, वो वर्किंग होता है, तभी हमें इंसाइट मिल जाते हैं, अलर्ट्स मिल जाते हैं, वेदर आई शुड बाय इट और नॉट, वेदर आई शुड प्रोसीड और नॉट. सो दीज आर द डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन द रियल टाइम एनालिटिक्स एंड द स्ट्रीमिंग एनालिटिक्स. Moving on to the unit number 6. Unit number 6 basically deals with the security and privacy concept of distributed system. As we have seen the syllabus of most of the subjects, the last unit is dependent on the security constraint, privacy constraint, or the recent trend in that particular subject. But already we are having the distributed systems as a recent trend subject. So what to talk about in unit number 6? So we have taken the concept of security and privacy in the unit number 6. So यहाँ पे आपको स्टूडेंट को बताना है कि कौन से सिक्योरिटी चैलेंजेस हो सकते हैं डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड सिस्टम में, बिकॉज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड सिस्टम इज मोस्टली डील विद द आर्किटेक्चर लाइक क्लाइंट सर्वर आर्किटेक्चर और शेयर्ड आर्किटेक्चर. तो जब भी हम इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करने वाले हैं, वी विल डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू हैव सम privacy breaches and security breaches. So how to deal with that? That is going to be covered in this unit number 6, that is distributed system security and privacy. The first topic we are having in this last unit, that is the security challenges. तो जब भी आप कोई इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करते हो, रिसीव करते हो, ट्रांसमिट करते हो, कम्युनिकेट करते हो, we are having the constraint of security and privacy, how to keep data private and secure. तो उसके लिए कौन से सिक्योरिटी चैलेंजेस हो सकते हैं? दे आर नेमली एज नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी, डेटा इंटीग्रिटी, डेटा हमारा जो हम सेंड कर रहे हैं वही रिसीव होना चाहिए रिसीवर को. ऑथेंटिकेशन एंड ऑथराइजेशन, आई शुड रिसीव इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम अ ऑथेंटिकेट पर्सन, फ्रॉम अ वैलिड यूजर. What is fault tolerance? What is denial of service? Secure communication, dynamic and heterogeneous environment क्या होता है? Auditability and forensics क्यों use किए जाते हैं? Data privacy क्या है? What are the patches and so what are the software management and patch management? Versions क्यों किए जाते हैं? Version control क्यों किया जाता है? Why we are having updates after every 6 months, after every 3 months to the programs and to the software? What is secure code execution and what is trust management. So these are the challenges related to security we are having in the distributed system. You have to explain each and every topic well to the students. Next is insider threat. Now insider threat is a concept like when attack is made by someone who is known to the inside information of the organization. And that person we are talking about, who he will be. So he'll be the former employee, a present employee, a contractor, a business associate, or a security administrator who is handling the sensitive information, who is handling the private information of an organization. And if he or she is going to leak the information for the self-respect, for the self-benefit, then that attack can be said to be as an insider attack, insider threat. There are 3 kinds of this insider threat. Those are malicious insider, careless insider, and a mole. You have to explain each and every type to the students. Then while communicating the information, the communication should be secure and encrypted. So for providing that encryption and secure communication, we are having different protocols, different methods, different networks. Like we can use SSL, secure socket layer. We can use TLS, transport layer security. So that is one thing. Then PKI, public key infrastructure, VPN, virtual private network, and AMPQ, which is advanced message queue protocol for communication between the client and server or within two peers or nodes, you can say. So these are the different mechanisms we can use for encryption of data and for secure communication. Now, most of the topics from this has been already covered in the third unit, where they're having subject named as cyber security. तो cyber security में उन्हें पता है VPN क्या होता है, PKI क्या होता है, public infrastructure क्या होता है. They are very well known to the TLS and SSL too. The new concept added is AMPQ. तो आपको ये उनको अच्छे से बताना है and you have to revise the rest of three encryption and secure communication ways to the students. Then privacy preserve करने के लिए कौन से techniques हो सकते हैं. तो in distributed system for privacy preservation we are having differential privacy, homomorphic encryption, secure multi-party computation, federated learning, anonymization and pseudo randomization, access control and data minimization. तो ये सब concept आपको स्टूडेंट्स को बताने हैं कि हर एक प्राइवेसी प्रिजर्वेशन टेक्निक में प्राइवेसी प्रिजर्व करने के लिए कौन सा मैकेनिज्म यूज किया जाता है एंड हाउ one method of this, how everything, every aspect, every technique is having which advantages, which disadvantages, which are better, which are less better, which we can prefer and which not. Likewise, by making comparison, you can tell this privacy preservation techniques to the students. Then for intrusion detection and for threat mitigation, which techniques we can use in AI-based distributed system. तो आप use कर सकते हो anomaly detection, behavior detection, threat intelligence and analysis, real-time response mitigation, adaptive security, UEBA, threat hunting and visualization. So these are the few of techniques which we can use for intrusion detection and threat mitigation. So these were the topic about unit number 5 and unit number 6. Does anyone is having any doubt? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
So shall we proceed to the laboratory part?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Okay. So the first practical, which is related to distributed system, is we have to design a distributed application using RPC. Ma'am, the font is visible of this Word file?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So in this first practical, what we have to do is we have to design a distributed application that we have to design using RPC, which is a mechanism used for communication between client and server. तो हमें इस प्रोग्राम में क्या इम्प्लीमेंट करना है? We will use the RPC. कैसे यूज करना है? Where a client submit integer value to the server and server calculate the factorial of that particular number and he will give you the result back to the client. So we have to design a distributed application using RPC. A client program should be like a value should be given by a client to the server. What server will do? Server will calculate factorial of that particular number and he will give the result back to the client program. तो basically हमने यहाँ पे दो programs बनाने हैं. One will be the client file and another will be the server file. So as they have said that server has to calculate the factorial, the calculation of factorial will write into the server file. So this is the first file I have created, that is factserver.py. Now for RPC, as we are using RPC, you have to import the simple XML RPC server file in the Python. I have implemented this both program of practical number 1 and practical number 2 in Python only. You don't have to use Java for it because already all other assignments are in Java. If you are using Python for this, then they will get familiar with the both of the programming languages. So first is factserver.py. The logic of factorial program you have to implement in this server part only. Then we have to give path for this program. So /rpc2 is what? It is a package which is needed by a Python program to get executed RPC mechanism. तो ये आपने ऐसे ही रखना है, ये हर एक प्रोग्राम के लिए हर एक मशीन पे सेम रहेगा. उसके बाद आपको सर्वर क्रिएट करना है. So whenever you will create this server, you have to use this address, localhost and port is 8000. Now why it will be same? Because हम server और client दोनों एक ही machine पे run करने वाले हैं. It is not like my server is on another machine and my client is on another machine. Both will be on the same machine. So this address will be also same for each and every one. If you're using the same machine for client and server, it will be localhost and 8000. Then once we will start the server, आपको पता चलना चाहिए कि सर्वर स्टार्ट हो रहा है या नहीं, क्योंकि सर्वर के साइड पे कैलकुलेशंस हो रहे हैं लेकिन कुछ डिस्प्ले करना चाहिए उसने, so that we will came to know that the server has been initialized, the server has been started. तो वहाँ पे मैंने एक प्रिंट वाला मैसेज डिस्प्ले किया है कि factorial server is ready to accept the request. Once you will execute the server code and you are able to see this message, then you will came to know that my server has been already started and now I can run the client program. So that was the server program. In the client program, we have to give input value, a integer value whose a factorial I want to calculate. So I have mentioned here value 5. I have given predefined value in the program itself. If you want to give the value at the runtime, you can make the changes in the program accordingly, but I have predefined the value as 5 only. Now how to execute this program? If you're using command prompt for execution, you have to open the command prompt first. After the command prompt opening, you have to change the directory. Directory will be the one where you have stored the programs. जहाँ पे आपने server और client program store किया है, वहाँ पे आपको आपका path change करना है using the cd command. Once we have changed the path, आपको program run करने के लिए command लगता है python your program name .py. तो वो आप use करो. अगर आपके पास python 3 है तो python 3 program name .py. Both the options you can try according to the version you have installed on the machine. तो यहाँ पे मैंने मेरा server execute किया था. This is the screenshot. You can see this line python factserver.py. तो पहले आपको सर्वर ही एग्जीक्यूट करना है. सो whenever I will execute my server using this line, I am able to see the message like factorial server is ready to accept the request. Now how this message is displayed, because already we have appended, we have implemented, we have added this line in the program. If you will not write down this line, you will directly see this next line 127.001 and your server name. तो अगर आपको एक्स्ट्रा मैसेज ऐड करना है तो आप ये वाली लाइन ऐड कर सकते हो. इफ नॉट यू कैन स्किप दैट लाइन. यू विल केम टू नो दैट सर्वर हैज बीन स्टार्टेड बाय यूजिंग दिस लाइन. सो पहले आपको सर्वर स्टार्ट करना है, उसके बाद you have to execute client program. Now whenever we are using client and server on the same machine, you should execute the server file on another command prompt and client file on the another command prompt. तो अपने अलग से फिर से command prompt open करना है and there you have to execute the client file. On this command prompt also you have to first change the path and then you have to execute the client file. Now here I have executed the client file and I have got the output as factorial of 5 is 120. 5 वाला वैल्यू हमने ऑलरेडी प्रोग्राम में दिया था. ये रिक्वेस्ट सर्वर के पास जाने के बाद उसने फैक्टोरियल कैलकुलेट किया which is 120 and is giving me the reply back as the factorial of 5 is 120. This is the practical number 1. It is a very simple program. आपको दो फाइल्स बनाने हैं, client file, server file. Factorial code will be there in the server file. You have to invoke the server using the client file and you have to display the result. Any doubt in practical number 1? Okay, I will see. Okay, we'll see practical number 2 now. Same we have to do for practical number 2. यहाँ पे हमने यूज करना है RMI, remote method invocation. It will be a distributed application using RMI where a client submit 2 strings to the server and server will concatenate those strings. Server will merge those 2 strings and give us the reply after the concatenation. तो client ने server को 2 strings send करने हैं, 2 words send करने हैं. Server what will do? Server will combine those 2 strings and concatenation result will be given by the server then. Now for this RMI, first we have to install the library. We need one library for it, that is Pyro4. So first you install that library before proceeding with the implementation. ये library आपको install करनी है. Then we'll see the server implementation. So this is the server implementation. Here the concatenation is going to be done by the server only. So the concatenation code is written over here only. str1 and str2 are the 2 strings which are submitted by the client. We will add those 2 strings in the result and will display that result. Then we have to create an instance of server so that it will get started, and once it will get started उसका एक address generate होता है. That address you have to copy in this file server_uri.txt. तो यहाँ पे आपने वो URI paste करना है. Now here you have to create 3 files, server.py, client.py, and this is the third file, server_uri.txt. All these 3 files should be at the same location, at the one location. Once you will execute this server file, server will give you a line of code. Server will give you an address. That address you have to copy for the first time into this text file. Okay, and you have to save that file and then you have to execute the client file. Next time when you will execute the code, every time you don't have to copy paste that address. One time only you have to copy paste. Next time whatever address will be generated, that will be already stored into the file as we have given the command as write. So whatever address will be generated by the server will be automatically updated in this text file. So for the first time only you have to generate and paste it to the server file. This is the client file where you have to give 2 strings as an input to the server file. You can manually mention predefined those 2 strings here, like string 1 is equal to first string and string 2 is equal to second string. But runtime अगर आपको उसको execute करना है तो आप यहाँ पे input command use करके runtime पे भी string accept कर सकते हो. इसको execute कैसे करना है? First you have to install the Pyro4 library. Once you have installed this, you have to use this command pyro4-ns. There is no space between this whole command. You are going to use this command as a whole. ns is nothing but the naming server. when you will execute this command, na, the server when will executed will give you that address line that we have to copy in the text file. So ये दो इंस्टॉल करने के बाद अपडेट करने के बाद आपको फर्स्टली एग्जीक्यूट करना है सर्वर फाइल and then you will execute the client file. Once you will execute the client file, it will give you the answer, that is concatenation of both of the strings. Yes, that's all from my side for unit number 5, 6 and practical number 1 and 2. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Surbhi ma'am. Thank you so much for your knowledge sharing. Now we will proceed for our next session of subject Computational Intelligence of BE AIDS 2025. Our next speaker is Professor Shubhangi Suryavanshi ma'am. I would like to introduce our next speaker, Professor Shubhangi Suryavanshi ma'am, for computational intelligence. Ma'am is an assistant professor at Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology. She has combined teaching and industrial experience in plus has completed bachelor's and master's from. She has submitted her PhD thesis under the guidance of Dr. Patil. She has over 25 plus publications in various celebrated focus and open science index international journals and conferences. She is teaching faculty. She has been certified in NVIDIA certification in learning for computer vision. She has completed national certification in computer vision, PDF certification in deep learning with Kenya, machine learning with Python and Ming. Her research area includes machine learning, deep learning, data science, data stream mining, online learning, and emerging technology. Now I request ma'am to kindly proceed for a session. Over to you, ma'am.
फॅन बंद करतो.
Thank you, ma'am.